dragging the bottom for oh so long, but I can feel that power running strong. It's in the air, I can feel it now. The dragon's walls are crumbling now, and it's time to fly as I say goodbye to the problems that's been dragging me down, so that we gonna rock and roll, sing from my soul.
Don't copy and paste yet.
Oh, sorry.
A little bit behind here. All right, go for it. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Sorry for the silence. We only got about 30 seconds together, but we're going to have a good show tonight. We got a lot to cover. It is, what is it, Wednesday?
Yes.
4th of July is what, Thursday? Friday. All right, well, we're getting close. Good to see. Hope everyone is making plans to celebrate the birthday of our wonderful country. We know we are. We're talking about going to V Beach here shortly and getting a little R&R. We're going to see how that goes. We hope you're doing well. Please do me a favor. If you have not had a chance to like, share, and subscribe to the Don't Unfriend Me show, we would appreciate it. We'll see you in 3 minutes.
What's up, everybody? It's Ryan Weaver. I am on the Don't Unfriend Me show, otherwise known as The Dumb Show, with host Matt Spear. You guys can find the show at The Dumb Show on social media or thedumbshow.com.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Hey, Liv.
Hi.
How was your day at work?
Wonderful.
As always.
It was a great day.
You had some news to share. Somebody, an old friend that we just heard.
Yes.
What's the news?
The news is country star Ryan Weaver will be back on the show next Wednesday. And I'm excited because I didn't meet him last time because he came on and I really was only doing sound and it was a recorded interview. So I wasn't there.
Oh, that's right.
I
Well, we
haven't
went
really
live
met
a
him.
little bit, but
Yeah,
it
but-
wasn't. This should be fun. Ryan's a good dude. I haven't spoken to him. Well, we talk on Twitter and stuff, and Instagram, but I haven't had a chance to chat with him. So I'm really excited that he's going to be on. He's one of my favorite people on the planet. I love the guy. And he kind of started out. He wanted to be here for the 20K show, but just could not.
Unfortunately, could not.
Yeah, he was so busy. I mean, we had to book this 2 months in advance, but I'm so stoked he's going to be here. He's a good guy. And some other news. What else?
We also have another guest. His name is Ken Good.
Ken
I said
Good.
Kevin for some reason.
That's all right.
Ken Good. He is a very big advocate for immigration law and legal immigration.
He's a lawyer.
And he's a lawyer. He has argued cases in front of the Fifth Circuit Supreme Court.
Right.
Bondsman. He's a bail bondsman. He's written a couple books about bail bondsman, and so sounds like a
he reached out to us, right?
Yeah, he reached out to us.
That's more than a couple. That's
really cool that people are actually starting to reach out to us to be on the show, which is
nice.
fantastic.
That's nice. I think I'm excited for both guests. I think it's gonna be awesome.
Yes.
We heard back from Ted Nugent.
Unfortunately, he is a no-go, but that's okay. Well, maybe we'll ask him in a little bit again. But
I look at it this way. It's not a problem. We will try to aim high and continue to bring on strong guests, but it's Ted Nugent. He's got to be selective in what he does. But we're constantly working. If you guys have podcasters, Eric Erickson, I'd love to get him. I know we're going to work on that. We definitely, Justin Barclay, we just need to shore that up, and he'll be here. Damani's meeting me after the show, and we are going to be working on our collaboration through Facebook and Twitter, where we're going to be able to share on each other's pages, and we're going to sign up and do that, which is great. And Damani will essentially come under our wing, and we'll be under his, and that's really exciting to have that joint venture between the two of us. What's wrong, Liv?
I'm just having him in for about 10 minutes. My ears feel like they're on fire. They're too big for my ears and they hurt.
Okay. I don't care. Just do me a favor. Just return everything and then order the ones that work for you. Yeah. And if you got to go over the ear, they have ones that slip behind that are over the ear, by the way, that don't go inside. And maybe that's what's good for you.
Yeah, I've got baby ears and nothing freaking fits.
Yeah.
It hurts.
I have a baby. I have a baby penis, which means that it's the size of a baby's arm.
I know what you're thinking.
Carrie says, "Why is he a no-go? Did he give a reason?" He may or may not have, but either way, that's his business, Carrie. And I know you're not. I'm not trying to be rude to you, but I'm not going to disclose why he can't. It wasn't rude. It was a very cordial and kind turn down. But that's okay.
Business.
It's the business. It is what it is. It's not that big of a deal. Liv, do you have your sweater close by?
No, but I should probably have ahead and grab it at some point.
We can turn it down. I mean, it just, when you've got 4 TVs blaring and you got 10 lights, it gets.
I usually don't get until I'm settled in.
It's not hot in here. It's me. I just run hot.
Yeah, I usually don't get cold until we settle in.
Yeah,
and I kind of chilled a little bit, and
I need to put my sandals on. That's what I need to do, and get off these, because that's what's going on.
Yes.
Will you straighten her bed or just pull it back? I really hate this bed. It just doesn't look good. Why are you so bright? I
have no idea.
You turn your phone down.
Oh, it's my phone because I'm doing this next.
What are you doing next?
What we talked about at dinner.
Okay. Yes. So let's zoom in for that one.
Yes.
We zoomed in the camera a little bit, so it's a little sharper. And what's really great, we have 4 people here. We can go to 4K, and this will look amazing like the rest of our cameras. But right now it's running 1080p, and it's a lot to intake. But this will zoom in even more, and it'll be crystal clear. So we got to have 4 guests though. All right. Anyway, here's Olivia bringing something to you, and go ahead, baby.
One of our longtime listeners, Miss Carrie Bailey. I'm pretty sure a lot of people remember her. She has not been with us for a while. And she messaged me out of the blue today and said she sincerely apologizes for not visiting the show and being on the live show.
Well, what the hell then? So why is she apologizing?
She has had some serious health issues.
Oh, well,
she has an immune disease. She also has lupus.
Oh my God.
So she's been in and out of the hospital trying to switch up her meds to get the correct ones. Unfortunately, with the switching of the meds, she started having seizures.
Oh God.
And then now with the immune disease, the lesions have attacked her brain. So now she's developed epilepsy, and she has 3 different types of seizures. So she says she's making a comeback, but she feels horrible and sorry that she hasn't been here. And I'm like,
need to feel
you don't need to feel like this. I'm like, we just want you to be healthy.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
the truth.
would like to reach out to our prayer warriors, please.
Yeah.
To please say a prayer for her to help her be strong. So
please do. And we will say a prayer off camera as we usually do. We're getting more and more comfortable of doing that on camera, but we appreciate it. And most assuredly, she has nothing to be sorry for.
No.
You know, people get sick, and we've actually had a few Dumb Nation followers die and it's horrible. We've, had the next of kin reach out, and all you want to do is kind of like be like, can I talk to you? Tell me what happened. And they're like, we don't know who you are, And so that relationship just kind of goes away, and it sucks. It's no fun at all. Well, Carrie is loved, and she's been a long time fan, and she just, put your hands together, please, and say a prayer. We will too. 4th of July is coming up. We've got a lot. And Carrie Spricks, I wasn't trying to be rude to you, but I'm all about like protecting anyone who interacts with this show. And Ted Nugent, they gave their reason. And Linda, right?
Yes.
Yeah. They gave a reason, and it wasn't good nor bad. It was just, we can't.
It was kind.
Yeah, we can't do it. So, and that's totally cool. And I have a feeling, honestly, Ted Nugent is a millionaire. Ted Nugent has said the things that he needs to say. He has a platform. He has his music. He has his voice. He has his literary works, and he has his time on Fox and other stations, and he's on OAN and Newsmax and everything. And he doesn't need the Don't Unfriend Me show. And that's okay. Because a lot of people don't need the Don't Unfriend Me show who are in this realm. But there are a lot of people who do. And those people, we love having here, So the cool thing is we're still going to book great guests, and maybe one day we can get Ted Nugent on, right? I mean, we didn't think we would have Laura Logan on. We didn't had Tonto on. I was really excited for Ryan Weaver when we got Ryan and Eli on, and that close to Roseanne. People keep asking, is Roseanne going to rebook? I don't know. Roseanne's super busy. She's got her own podcast, and she's been doing a lot. So I want to wait for the time to be right with Roseanne. I want her to come on when she feels good about it. And she said she wants to rebook. So we're going to let her do her thing. And when she's ready, she'll come on. Yeah. So she watches our show. So, good. Anyway, so we got a lot to do. DC Bindwell says, "What's up, Dum Dums?"
Apparently, he didn't watch the show at the
he doesn't know what the Dum Dums are. Yeah, we're not. It's not Dum Dums, man. That's a sucker, and unfortunately, those are not. You can call us dummies. You can call us Dumb Nation. You can just call us by our first name, but Dum Dums, not quite. But
got a bad juju with Dum Dums.
Yeah, well, that's what we used to call all the trolls, is Dum Dums.
Exactly.
Gum Gum, you want Dum Dum. DC's been on here before, so I'm not too worried about it. So let's get to it. We got a lot to do. 108 people on in Legacy, and we've got a bunch on Rumble and Wimkin. Twitter is a little bit slow today. Let's get going, and let's get it shared if we could. Tonight's goal is $300. Gail Deese was our last donation last night at $21.10. We want to say thank you. We have hit goal every night since we revamped the studio, minus one night. So it's been really, really good. We're on a good run. And I think people got a little bit of a gap between the big show and now, and it feels good. So it's helping us out. Nick Younger, hello. How are you guys doing? We're doing well. Yeah, DC's like, thanks for the correction. No, it's no big deal. It was a curse word 2 years ago. And we've moved away from dummies, and not because it's like the people who know, we still talk about it, but a lot of people, turn your brightness down. Look at what you've done to the screen again. No, honey, all you got to do is turn it down. We're not going to do this again. We do this every night. Just turn the fucking thing down and don't let it go up. I'm just done every freaking time. And no, don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't let it go. Just let it go. Give me the win. Can I have the win? Can I have the win? Can I have the win? Give me the win. Give me the win. Yes.
You may not.
Well, I didn't do anything wrong. It's you who can't just turn down your brightness.
See, the thing is, I'm not touching it. It's the same as it was.
It's too bright. What you do is you turn it down based upon the color of the screen you have and go, that's good. And then you put white on, and it turns into Vampire Slayers.
Well, I didn't realize the TV reset itself every night.
It doesn't reset. You have to, listen, I built it. I know. I'm God upon high. I built this. I know what you can and can't do. When you turn off that computer and you shut it down, it resets so you can see your screen under a dark setting. Because what it doesn't want you to do is not be able to see your screen. So it goes to 100. So what you need to do is open up your email first thing, and as bright as it, turn that shit all the way down, and that's where your starting point is. Okay?
Okay.
Do we have some harps or something to play? I
just don't understand because I look at it when I first come in and it's the same spot.
You're not listening to me. You look at it in the dark scene and you go, that looks good. And then you open up a window. Oh my God. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Didn't I say I could win? You said I could win.
No, I said no.
Fuck.
I said, no, you can't win. Marriage, it's fantastic.
You're wrong. What do you mean my face looks red?
I'm just a freaking porcelain doll.
She's white.
I'm freaking
It's
white.
not that I look red, folks. I have a tan. I've got color. Frank Wood donated $51.99. Thank you. Love you all, Frank. We love you too. I'm not red. Someone asked if Matt has heard about a 10 Days of Darkness, and if so, please discuss it. Sure, we can talk about that. My face doesn't look red, does it?
No. You just actually look like you have color compared to me.
Yeah, because you're whiter than it goes. You see how I feel? Especially when your screen is literally blinding everybody in the whole room. We all look white. All right.
This is going to be like the freaking chocolate cake, and it's going to be like the leg lamp in Christmas Story, isn't it?
No, this is a good day. I'm not upset. I just want you to stop doing the same thing every single night, and everybody's used to it. It's like everyone's just counting down. It's like me saying ad nauseum, it should be a drinking game of how many times you forget to turn the brightness down on your TV. Hey, how many years did it take me to forget to pump the audio in here in the right way? And we would play it over the loudspeaker. So listen, you've got like another 300-400 screw ups before we really have to start making a change. Then I'm going to have to find a new host and a wife. So I'll be accepting applications. So
that's great.
That's wonderful.
Good
oh my
luck.
God, look at that. I got to turn down my brightness. Well, I can't see. That's
good luck finding someone who will put up with your shit like
I
do.
Whatever, please. That is so unfair. That's so unfair. America First. Hi, Olivia. Also, welcome any new viewers not chatting. Was there anything else that we had to talk about besides Ryan Weaver and stuff?
No.
Okay.
That was it. That was it.
All right. So I'm gonna cover us up. So America First, the one big beautiful bill. We need to talk about this because people are flipping out. Olivia's color on my phone on Facebook is great, but looks washed out on YouTube. You guys, I don't know what to tell you. Our picture is one of the best. Come on. Tell me our picture isn't one of the best in the business. What do you want me to do? I've done everything I can. It might just be you. Okay. You do like Toronto, mind you. Delivers the largest tax cut in history for middle and working class Americans. This is true. This is 100% the largest tax cut in history. And the reason why is because the actual tax that you're going to have to pay it is in some cases, like Olivia and I, our taxes would go up to 46%.
Jeez.
46%. That's like, I think we were at 27 last year.
Yeah.
And we
can't imagine doubling it. We can't
afford that. So biggest tax cut history. Picture looks awesome. Thank you, Patriot. We appreciate you. Bigger paychecks of $10,000 more in annual take-home pay for families. We qualify. Okay. Anyone, I think it's 400 and under, take home an annual $10,000 more. And that's great. No tax on tips. Well, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security.
When I was working on over.
Yeah, but the thing is there's a cap, right? There's a cap, and that's what they don't say. But at least it's there. No tax on Made America auto loans. Now that's interesting.
That's new.
Yeah. Protects 2 million family farms from punitive double taxation. Permanent increases to the child tax credit, supporting over 40 million families. Good. Vote against this bill is a vote for the largest tax increase in history. Rescinds billions in Green New Scam funding. Restores fiscal sanity, slashing deficits by roughly $2 trillion. Eliminates waste, fraud, and abuse from bloated federal programs. Permanently secures our borders. Unleashes domestic oil, gas, and nuclear power, restoring energy independence. Ends Biden's war on American energy. Modernizes our military, ensure the resources will be ready lethal fighting force after 4 years of weakness by Biden. Delivers the largest Coast Guard upgrade since WW2, stomping fentanyl. Funds the Golden Dome missile defense system. Hires 10,000 new ICE agents, 5,000 customs, and 3,000 border agents. Shifts the cost of adjudication in the immigration system from the American taxpayer to the aliens themselves. Finishes phase 2 of the border wall. Makes the largest investment in border security in a generation, providing $150 billion to secure our border. Deports at least 1 million illegal aliens a year.
I got one question. How do they switch it from the American tax dollar to the actual illegal alien themselves? How are they going to pay it?
Well, the processing is they're going to pay one of two ways. One is to get the fuck out of our country, or two is that if they become American citizens, they owe the United States government that money.
Got it.
And we would dock their pay. Good. That's wonderful. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about the 800-pound gorilla in the room. And no, not Olivia's butt. We're talking about.
Are you freaking serious?
It is so sexy. You have the greatest ass ever.
You got a great
big ass.
I have to buy a new bathing suit before I go to the beach because none of mine.
Can I help you try them on?
Do you know how just it kills a woman when she's gained that much weight where her old bathing suits don't fit? What it does to your self-esteem?
Have you seen any change in my appetite for you?
No.
All right, then that's all you can. That's all. All you can do is make me happy.
But
it doesn't matter what
still.
you feel. It only matters that I'm happy. I'm happy, and that's all that matters.
Okay.
Pound it. So, you know what? Guess what comes tomorrow? Well, guess what comes in the mail tomorrow? Tomorrow.
Wow. Okay.
Guess what comes in the mail? Our new mic flags.
Oh, cool.
So we'll have all of our mic flags
Nice.
tomorrow. We have our new mic flag. So Matt's an ass man. Got it. I'm kind of an everything man. I'm like, I don't think there's anything I don't enjoy.
He's an Olivia man.
That's the truth. Like, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is. Man, woman, or vegetable. Preferably vegetable. They put up less of a struggle.
Oh my gosh.
So that's the America First bill. So let's talk about the 800-pound gorilla in the room. It's going to close hospitals all over the country. Yes. Yes, it's going to do that. Right, 330 of them. How many hospitals are there in the United States, Olivia? Do you know? Like you can count ERs, everything else. Give me your best guess. Like, how many hospitals? Now, don't look at the screen. Just guess.
I'm not. I'm thinking.
Okay, keep looking up.
I don't know if a billion's a stretch.
A billion? There's not even a billion people in the United States. Did I say world?
No.
Okay, United States. No, I think I said world. So how about the United States?
500 million? I don't know.
500 million hospitals?
I don't know. I mean,
Olivia, how many McDonald's are there?
Oh, God, I don't know.
Okay, there's probably going to be more McDonald's than hospitals.
Okay,
Is that
maybe
fair?
100 million.
100 million hospitals?
I don't know.
How many states have we lived in?
We have lived in.
How many hospitals were in Phoenix?
I don't know because we didn't
Like
go to any of
20.
them. Yeah.
How many in Houston?
Too many.
Yeah, like 20. Okay, and those are two very big cities. How many where we live now?
Ooh, gosh.
There's one.
No, there's more than
No,
one.
there's one and like 3 ER hospital centers.
There's 2 in Leesburg and then.
Don't start naming cities. We already have enough stalkers. All right. My point is, I can't believe it. I'm so disappointed. No, I'm not. So that is way too many. There's like 6,200 hospitals in the United States. Okay.
Oh, wow.
6,200. So if 300 close, what's the percentage?
5,900.
Well, if we had 6,200 and 10% would be 620. So it's about 5% of the hospitals in the United States would close. 5%.
Okay.
Now, the thing is that these hospitals are literal money pits for the United States government because we have to subsidize them to keep them open. But we don't have a major hospital near us. We have to drive at least 20 minutes to a hospital, 15 to 20 minutes.
Yep.
By medevac, it's going to be 3 minutes. That's flight time, but it's not pick up and drop off time. It's faster to get there by an ambulance than it is a medevac. So guaranteed, if I have a heart attack, I got 15 to 20 minutes to get to a hospital. But I've got one of the best fire departments in the state, literally right up the road. One of the most greatest state-of-the-art facilities. We've got ERs and we've got doctors and emergency centers all around us. And our fire department has full-time doctor and ambulance on staff. Okay, so that's good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we survive without it. So people are going to have to make a transition. That's the way this works. And you can't keep subsidizing. So here are the breakdown of hospitals. 5,100 community hospitals, federal government hospitals like the VA 200, non-federal psychiatric hospitals 600, and other long-term care and rehab 220.
Yeah, I thought there were a lot more.
So, but there's not. And what we're talking about is full service hospitals. Surgical staff, rooms, intensive care unit, all of that.
Okay.
We're not talking about an ER center. We're not talking about an emergency room. We're not talking about a federal or government hospital like VA. We're talking about independent hospitals, a general hospital. There's not that many, because a lot of hospitals, like in Denver, Colorado, there's like 10. There's Swedish Medical Center.
The Mayo Clinic.
You have the Mayo Clinic. You have Denver, but the Mayo Clinic isn't a hospital. Mayo Clinic is a specialty clinic. There's a difference.
There was
so when
the one that you had your surgery at, down
right,
on
but
Broadway.
Right,
I just don't remember the name of it.
Right. So when we're saying hospitals, people are thinking, "Oh my God, I'm gonna, my cardiovascular, or my rehab center, or no." That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about hospitals. And how often do you go to the hospital? Well, I can tell you in my life, I've been to the hospital with VA included a shit ton of times. But how many times have I been in the hospital in the last 20 years? 5? 10? 5. One when I took the ambulance ride with my heart. One when I stayed over for my first back surgery. But the discectomy didn't count. That was in office. The spinal cord stimulator was in office. The injections were in office. So they were a hospital center, but they weren't a full-fledged hospital.
Yeah, most of them were outpatient.
Yeah, so my time in the hospital has been very, very minimal. Now, when I get older, that's going to increase, and we have to make a decision. Just like, do we need a 2-story, 3-story house when we're 80? No, because we're going to break a hip.
Yeah, I've been in the hospital twice. I was both giving birth to my children, and that is it.
Right. So what people need to understand is that you will adapt, you will survive. But what we will not survive is these continued Medicaid costs and Medicare costs that are just wasteful spending. Now, here's the thing. Everyone's like, oh my God, all these hospitals are going to close 360. And Democrats are just flipping out. But here's the truth. They put $50 billion in there for earmarks for windfall. So if any of these hospitals truly struggle, and it's not fraud, and it's not waste, and it's not them doing the switcheroo with billing, which I'll explain in a second, which is also killing us, these hospitals will survive. Just like they said the tariffs would kill everyone in agriculture. Farmers survived. Just like they said it would kill the automotive industry with putting tariffs on these cars, they survived. Just like the airline industry was going to go belly up in COVID, they saved these essential, and they are essential, corporations and businesses. The same thing will happen with these hospitals if they're profitable. But if they are a suckhole, then they're not needed. What is going to do? So what's the first thing that do you think these hospitals are going to do?
The ones that possibly could shut down, they're going to stop servicing illegal aliens or people who can't pay, I would assume.
They're going to close.
Yeah.
And what are they going to do? What are those? Are they going to say, oh, fuck it, we're done? What are they going to do, honey? If you're a business and you're too big, what are you going to do?
You're going to downsize.
You're going to downsize. So you're going to open up urgent centers, and they're still going to make money. They're going to sell. They're going to write it off. They're going to write it off as a business loss, and they're going to reinvest in 5 or 6 urgent centers instead of a hospital. And they're going to make probably less, yes, but it's still better than a loss. So you're going to have emergency urgent centers that are 24 hours open, and that's what's going to happen. So is that good? Is it good for major conglomerations to just stay open and keep throwing money at a problem? No. So you downsize. That's what happened to Hollywood Video. Hollywood Video, those things used to be, 10,000 square foot?
Yep.
And then DVDs came out. We're like, wait a second. We literally could cut these things down to 5,000 because the VHS tapes are this thick and a DVD is this thick. Just by the sheer volume, we can cut by half. And what did they do? They put in Game Crazies.
And
So
then if they would have just listened
Well,
to
they-
a certain person and shut down the video portion and just separated Game Crazy, they would have survived.
if they would not have bought 1 million copies of The Dark Knight on Blu-ray, the cheapest Blu-ray on the market in the world right now is The Dark Knight on Blu-ray. You can get it for like 29 cents on eBay or Amazon.
Oh, seriously?
And the reason why is Hollywood Video bought so many copies,
There's so many out there.
so many copies that they have literally dwindled the market and the resale value of that to nothing. Now, it might be up now, but it wasn't. For the longest time, you could go for $1.29 and buy a brand new copy on Amazon.
Yeah,
And that's because they saturated the market. They dumped 1 million of these things. They went to Warner Brothers and Paramount, and Hollywood Video signed a contract and said, we'll take 1 million of them. We'll be able to sell them. And we're like, no. Blu-ray is not. That was just right after the HD DVD wars. It wasn't quite on. People were buying Blu-ray players, but there was no way we're going to sell 1 million of them, and they went out of business for it.
Yeah, if they would have just separated the video games from, they would have at least still had Game Crazy. But
Well, they should have sold the business and sublet Game Crazy, but Game Crazy
exactly.
wasn't profitable either. We were hemorrhaging money because those were keeping the rest of it open. But anyway, so the next thing about the big beautiful bill, and we're going to have to go to video for this, is an interesting thing. When we talk about Medicare is not paying illegals, it's not true. So when we talk about Planned Parenthood, the government funding abortions, is that true or false?
I think it's true. I mean, Planned
Actually, it's false.
Oh, okay.
But you've heard of the expression rob Peter to pay Paul, right?
Yes, I sure have.
So what they do is that they pay out of their pocket for the abortion segment, and then they reimburse themselves through the federal money. So they use the state money for the abortions and the research of stem cell research and everything else, and then reimburse themselves through the federal money. So it's robbing Peter to pay Paul. Well, the same thing is happening in the hospitals. You have illegals, anywhere from 14 to 20 million is the estimate, that are coming in for emergency care. 1.4 million is what they said. That is an incredible number, by the way. That is an incredible number. Out of 20 million people, 1.4 are coming for emergency care. Let's just say it's 14 million. That's 10%. 10% of illegals are seeking emergency care. That is an astronomical number. So what happens? Well, the hospitals will use the state dollars that are state funded to pay for the illegals, and then they just reimburse themselves to the federal money. So they're robbing Peter to pay Paul. So yes, it's illegal to fund illegals, but that's how you get around it. And these are the loopholes, and this is the nuance the Democrats don't focus on. They're up there, they're the illegals. It's already illegal. You can't do it. Just like illegals can't vote. It's already illegal to vote, but we've got illegals doing it. You've got illegals voting for gubernatorial races, mayoral races. They're voting for state legislature. They're voting for city council. They may not vote for the president, but they still, in certain areas, depending upon the city, depending upon the state, have the access to vote. So don't give me this crap that they don't have the ability to do things that Republicans are trying to cut. So you're talking about 1.4 million. This is billions and billions and billions of dollars, if not trillions of dollars of windfall going against the American people. And here's the deal. How much do we pay for healthcare? Let's do the math. $1,250, right?
Yeah, $1,250.
Okay, so that's $12,500 a year, and then two other payments of $1,250, which is a total of $24,25. So $25 and $1,250, maybe $15,000 a year. Mm-hmm. So I got to pay $15,000 for insurance for a family of four, and then I have to pay for somebody else's too? No, I don't think so. You know what? You're not going to get me to cry that your free healthcare is gone. Get a fucking job, or get out of my country.
Yep.
I'm not going
paying for yours.
I'm not paying for yours and mine. It's ridiculous. Hi, Carrie. We said some nice things about you earlier. It's good to have you back, hon. I hope you're feeling better, Carrie. So let's go ahead and listen to this real quick. By the way, folks, if you have not had a chance, please like, share, and subscribe. You also have not had a chance to donate. Frank Wood started us off at $51.99. We would love to get there. We're 1/6 the way there, help us out, and we would appreciate it. So this video kind of walks you through with Chip Roy, who I'm not happy with right now because he's creating waves in the House, and he's upset because everything he wanted in the bill didn't get pushed through. Well, welcome to the United States, Chip Roy, where everybody doesn't get what they want. But here is a video of Chip talking about exactly what I just did to kind of help you guys understand what we're saying about these hospitals robbing Peter to pay Paul. Here it is.
It is already unlawful for Medicaid to go to illegals, right? You're not supposed to do it, but they backdoor into it. And we've got reports showing that millions get Medicaid. So what did we do? In the bill, there's a section, I can't remember the number, section 7.1, blah, blah, blah. And it does tighten it some. It puts some teeth into it. The CBO scores it as saving $5 or $6 billion. So Senator Schmidt is not wrong. There's language in there that makes it better. And we fought for that in the House, and then the Senate's got it. But the one thing we did in the House, and this is important, and it's a part of the Medicaid scam, right? You and all your viewers and all of us want to make sure the vulnerable for whom Medicaid was created, working class Americans, they get the ability to go get health care. But we don't want the able-bodied, the scammers to get it. We don't want insurance companies and fat cats to get rich on the back of this program. So here's how it works. The fact is, you take some of that money, the state money, they'll go spend it on illegal aliens. They won't use the federal money, which they're prohibited from doing. They'll use their state money, but they'll still claim all of the provider tax dollars and the FMAP matching dollars and use that to fatten their coffers. So they end run the restrictions. In the House bill, we said you're going to lose your federal match if you continue to provide Medicaid to illegal aliens. And so, California, for example, the Senate stripped that out. They hid behind the parliamentarian, but they didn't fight hard enough to keep it in, and they didn't rework the language so that we can guarantee that those federal dollars don't flow to states that give money to illegal aliens. I hope that's clear.
All right. And any questions on that? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So we had a question by Tommy Cawthon about the about veterans being kicked off of Medicaid. Is it possible? There's nothing in the big, beautiful bill that states veterans are getting kicked off Medicaid, but they could, low income that are on Medicaid could lose non-VA specific government assistance because they already have government assistance through the VA. So low income could lose that, but whatever they lose in Medicaid, the VA would pick up. Listen, the VA of 10 years ago is not the VA of today. It's still not perfect, but I'll tell you what, the VA allows you to see your own doctor, and it may not be picked up. And veterans understand this. But if you need a specialty clinic or you need something specifically service related, or you are, medically discharged at a rate that offers you your medical TRICARE, then they would pick up the tab anyway. But what a lot of veterans do is because they may not have a VA service center near them, they'll use Medicaid to go ahead and subsidize their care with federal dollars through the Medicare program. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Angela Hill says, wow, that's cheap. I know. Our insurance is, Olivia, I got to give her credit. She went and she hunted the lowest for the best coverage, and she got a ridiculous deal.
And I will tell you, I found out a lot about the Affordable Care Act. My ass Affordable Care Act. Yeah. Are you freaking serious? Like the cheapest Affordable Care Act plan for the worst possible coverage was like $2,600. And that was just medical. That didn't include vision and dental. So yeah, it's not affordable. So whoever named it that really is stupid.
Well, ACA is bullshit. So essentially it's a tax on the people. So it doesn't matter anyway. The parliamentarians struck down that portion of the bill, so it doesn't matter. So it required 60 votes. It didn't get those votes. So listen, when things are cut, people get impacted. But let me ask you a question. Do you want to have less health care, or do you want to pay 46% tax?
Less health care.
Do you want less salmon swimming upriver and redirecting that route, or are you okay with an extra 2 minutes on your travel time?
Yeah, kill the salmon.
Yeah. So you need to rob Peter to pay Paul here. Are we looking for energy independence, or do we want to make sure that we continue to drive down CO2 emissions that have absolutely no guaranteed impact on what currently is happening to the planet?
Yeah, I'd like to
So-
drive down energy costs, become
So-
energy efficient.
Dodie, I'm not going to disclose any like personal information of what insurance company we go with. I am a podcaster who talks about some very controversial things, and I really don't want to lose my insurance. So I'm just not going to say anything to that question. If you want to ask Olivia separately in private message,
you can email me or message me. I can.
Yeah, I would just ask that
info.
you keep that between us. I don't need to get canceled in that way. But anyway, so my point is this. We need to understand is that there's certain things that we're not going to love. That's what happens in these bills. Now you've got people like Thomas Massey and Rand Paul that are saying, oh, well, we need 12 separate bills. Yeah. And you know, a blonde with big tits and a Corvette would be nice, but you know what? Didn't happen. So
Well, you got me.
I got, so we all want certain things, and a blonde is not, because brunettes that's where it's at. Dark hair, dark eyes every day of the week. But shit happens. Now, this, you know, Massey and Rand Paul are crying and yelling, oh, this adds to the deficit. Yes, it does. Because because the reason why is the offset of cutting the taxes. Obama, Biden were going to bend us over the table and shove it up our rears on the tax increases to pay for the ungodly spending. And they were like 46%. They're going to take 50% of your fucking pay. And Donald Trump is like, no way. So yes, it's going to add to the deficit, because that revenue surplus, you know what the government would have done? They wouldn't have used it to pay off the debt. They would have used it to spend more money.
Yes, they would have.
So you know what he's saying? We're not going to collect it. And yes, it's going to go to the debt, but what it's also going to do is put it back in our pockets, and it allows us to stimulate the economy ourselves with purchasing. We've already done this before. Why are we doing this again? We know this works because Donald Trump had one of the greatest economies ever. We know his shit works. Let the man cook.
Yep.
Leave him alone. Let him do his job. Just shut up and pass his bill. Thomas Massey, Rand Paul, Chip Roy, shut the fuck up. Murkowski, Collins, shut your face. Stop talking. Vote. Be quiet.
How dare you?
Yeah, I know. Because here is what we have to listen to. Is Murkowski, what a coward. I don't care that she voted for it, because she went and shat all over it. And we got to get to Lara Logan tonight, because that's going to be important.
Okay.
I want you guys to hear this. But Murkowski, I almost didn't play this. And sorry for my language. Not trying to cuss and be grumpy. I'm sick of these people. I really am. I'm sick of them. You were not elected. What is that?
Hayden, get my hoodie. She actually is reading her phone. I don't know how many times I've texted her to do something when we're on the show, and she never checks her phone. So I finally had to have a talk with her and said, please have your phone near you and on when we're on the show, just in case we need something. So there she is.
So,
oh, it was Ethan. Thank you.
Close that, dude, before you come in. There you go. So Murkowski, I can't even find it. She's pulled it down off the internet. They're pulling it off. What a trash individual. She basically went and shat all over the bill. Hurry up, E. Okay. Thanks, buddy. Give it to Mom.
Thank you, Bubba.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. So she trashed the bill. I'm trying to find the video. It's off everywhere. It was in my bookmarks and it's just gone. That is such garbage. If anyone can find it, please let me know.
I would be wearing my Don't Unfriend Me hoodie, but someone took it.
Well, then take it back because you should be wearing branded clothing, not the Avalanche. I'm serious. You should be wearing branded clothing right now.
Because I tried to take.
I mean, that's our show. We're not selling the abs. You know what I mean? Senator Lisa, if you need another hoodie, why don't you just ask me?
Yeah, it's probably good.
How about I order you 5?
Sure.
I'll order them after the show. Just ask me. You didn't tell me you were out of hoodies. Yeah. It's the middle of summer and it's 100 degrees outside. I didn't know you're gonna be wearing a hoodie. All right, let's watch
You've
this.
been married me how long?
I'm just saying. All right, here we go. Lisa Murkowski, listen to this crap. This is like what a coward. If this is what you truly believe, then why did you vote for it?
Do I like this bill? No, because I tried to take care of Alaska's interests. But I know that in many parts of the country, there are Americans that are not going to be advantaged by this bill. I don't like that.
I just keep thinking about something that Senator Murkowski said, though, which is basically an acknowledgement that, yes, she was able to get things for Alaska, but the bill was not good for the other 49 states. I understand your job, your task is to represent the people of Connecticut. Is there any sweetener they could have come to you with simply for the people of Connecticut that would have been good enough for you to have sold out the other 49 states?
No. They used an accounting gimmick.
Unless it went ahead and clarified that he actually was in Vietnam after he lied about it, this piece of shit.
Another fact that
I want to talk about that. Can we talk about that? Because I want you to put this very wonky language for me into plain English as best you can. So this is from NBC News. To pass their bill, Republicans voted along party lines to set an aggressive new precedent that will have a lasting impact on the Senate. They used a trick known as current policy baseline to obscure the cost of extending 2017 tax cuts, essentially lowering the sticker price by $3.8 trillion. That tactic, backed by all 53 Republicans, hasn't been used in the filibuster-proof process before and weakens the Senate's 60-vote threshold. Right. Just first of all, just explain that to me.
Well, to put it in the most simple terms.
To put it in terms that your dumbass will understand.
Their view is if you extend a tax cut, even though it balloons the deficit, you don't need to count it because it's already a tax cut in the law, which would have expired, but all you're doing is extending it. So the baseline, in essence, is moved through this accounting gimmick or trick. And what they did also was to use the reconciliation process, which, as you know, is supposed to apply only to the budget, to make very sweeping policy changes or attempt to do it. They tried to, in effect, preempt all state laws on artificial intelligence. We pushed back. We won that fight. But the baseline gimmick essentially disguises the ballooning deficit. But they're not going to hide it from Wall Street and from the bond market. And that's where
which is at an all-time high, knowing exactly what's going to actually be put through.
Our interest rate is going to go up for the debt that is going to have to be issued to cover that ballooning deficit.
That's why you already saw Moody's putting us on the decline.
Yeah, Moody's. I don't think Moody's has ever not put someone on decline in any administration based upon new legislation going through. But the market is not going to soften on this tremendously. Here is another comment by Murkowski. Here's the full version. Listen to this. And this is just the weakest. I mean, what a feckless coward.
Senator Paul said that your vote was a bailout for Alaska at the expense of the rest of the country. That's what Senator Paul said. I didn't say it. I'm just asking.
I love the stare. I'm going to stare you down.
She looks like a turtle before she hits lettuce. You know what I mean? You know, just ready to.
Mm-hmm.
My response is I have an obligation.
Shitty audio. Mm-hmm. Nothing we can do about it. Fucking Twitter. Audio balancing, man. It's been since the Betamax that they've had it. This isn't difficult, Elon. Put some money into your fucking videos. God, you know what? I'm almost done. I'm going to go to Rumble instead. Let's see if I can get a better audio.
Senator Paul said that that your vote was a bailout for Alaska at the expense of the rest of the country.
I get this stare down.
No,
That
when
you
it
can't
comes to
hear
her,
shit.
can't
And it's
hear.
not us. It's not our fault.
Senator Paul said that this was.
Oh, my God. See, if you're going to be essentially, like, hold on. I could pump it up. But basically, what you said, this bill sucks. I didn't want to vote for it. But to make a clear statement, I voted for it anyway in line with Republicans. What? So what you're saying is you're a coward. You're an idiot. Like, I
didn't like the bill, but I'm going to vote for it anyway.
Right, but to prove a point. What's the point you're trying to prove? That you're a feckless coward? Listen, everyone knows that you're a shill. Everyone knows you're not a Republican. You and Collins are not Republicans. Massey's not a Republican. Rand Paul's not a Republican. Chip Roy is not a Republican. Well, these people are libertarians, and they know they can't win as a libertarian, so they run as a conservative. And they're not conservative. Deborah says, every time Olivia puts on a hoodie, Matt loses focus. No shit. She covers up the body. It's like a nunnery in here. Like I literally think like we should light some candles and count rosary. She looks like a nun. So anyway, it comes down to this. Lisa Murkowski and all of these people, the naysayers, why should we ever listen to Democrats again?
We shouldn't.
Didn't they say he was going to be a dictator on day one?
Yeah.
Didn't they say we're going to be in World War III?
Yeah.
Didn't they say that the economy was crashing?
Yeah.
Didn't they say that there was Russia collusion?
Yeah.
Didn't he say that he raped E. Jean Carroll?
Yeah.
Didn't they say that he went ahead and stole the 2024 election?
Yeah.
Didn't he say that he was a Russian asset? Didn't they say he was a Nazi?
He was Putin's puppet.
Putin's puppet?
And he was
Why should we ever listen to these people again?
Kim
Jong-un.
Dowkey, whatever, missile man from North Korea.
Rocket
his best
Man.
friend,
Rocket
whatever.
Man.
Missile Man's better.
What?
Yeah. Rocket Man's a song.
The love letters from Korea. Give me a break. I'm so tired of these people.
You had a question on Rumble.
Tell me what it is.
How did you like the Democrats' charade this afternoon? Is that part of our show?
Charade? What's charade?
I don't know.
Well, charade's a very inexplicable term when it comes to the
From
Democrats.
A new viewer. Either they've been watching and haven't.
What was that?
commented.
Just tell me what the Democrat charade was.
Yeah, please.
Because this could mean anything.
Yeah, Faye, tell us what it is, please.
Yeah, let us know. Somebody asked a question earlier about something. Who was it?
I don't know because I did not see it. Otherwise, I would have stopped.
It was right at the beginning, and it was, does Matt have thoughts on a topic? And I never answered it. I'm looking. If you wrote that, please let me know. It was right. I'm looking. If someone could remind me what the question was, I'd appreciate it.
I didn't see
you know
it.
what
I'm sorry.
That's okay. 10 Days of Darkness. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Let's do this before we hit our pee break.
Whoa. What in the world did my TV just do?
Did you touch the remote?
No, it's over
Just
here.
hit exit. Just grab your remote and change it. Your voice thing went on. I don't know why.
Weird.
It's okay. It happened. Listen, it's a fucking Chinese TV. All right. I couldn't afford $5,000
But the
a
thing
piece
is
Sony's.
it hit your voice. I heard your voice and they activated, not mine.
Well, that's because it knows who's boss in this house. For sure.
Apparently.
Okay. CBS. $16 million by ABC has to be paid to Donald Trump. Facebook had to pay him $25 million. $35 million in lawsuits. And then $16 million by Paramount CBS. Donald Trump is made $55 million. Essentially, he's going to pay off E. Jean Carroll by the time, and then win on appeal. Over this video is what he just won on. I'm sure we all remember when they altered the video 60 minutes of Kamala Harris, camel toe herself, with this video. Listen to this.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Yep. That cost them $16 million because of that.
Maybe they shouldn't be editing.
Well, yeah. Considering that they don't, they ran with the comments of good people on both sides and edited that. He should sue him for that too.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's something to think about. And then also I wanted to cover this before the break, which is a gentleman answering the question, do we need Pride Month? And do we? Do we need a day that celebrates where you put your penis and vagina?
In my opinion, no.
No, I don't think so. But let's listen to this argument from a gentleman who has an opinion on it, and we'll talk about the opinion.
Things like Pride do the exact opposite to what Jonathan thinks they do. It turns people off. What I see when I see some of those Pride events is fetishes being displayed on street, men running naked around thinking that's acceptable when there are children walking around. It doesn't show anything good about the gay community. It stereotypes them, and there'll be millions of gay men, thousands of them watching tonight who'll go, actually, I don't want that representing me in this country. All right, talk about where that backlash has come from, because Jonathan's right, there is a backlash happening. And it is the fault of these far-left institutions like Stonewall that have pushed the agenda too far. They've advocated for puberty blockers for children, for example.
That's got nice to do gay rights.
And during the 2000s, gay rights was being relatively accepted. People had got over the whole fear of it all and moved on. The public had moved on and just gone, do you know what? We don't really care anymore. It's the assimilation argument all over again, isn't it? Do you want to be part of society, or do you want society to look at you and think you are different?
I don't care where you put your penis. I don't care where you put your vagina. And whatever you do in the privacy of your own bedroom is your business. I've participated in 3 Pride parades because I worked for Apple and didn't have much of a choice when everyone was going, and probably wouldn't be good for my career. But did I participate and wave flags and do all that? No. Do I have lesbian and gay friends? I have a shit ton of lesbian and gay friends, and I believe that they should be able to exist, get married, be happy, and do all those things and pay taxes and contribute to society. I have no desire to see their ass. I have no desire to see their cock swinging in San Francisco, and I don't want to see some saggy-ass titties in a bush that basically looks like it's from 1970 and looks like a Jew fro. I just don't care. I don't care. And I think us celebrating where you stick your penis is the dumbest thing ever. And here's the problem. If you need that clarification from me, then maybe what you're doing is wrong.
So if there's a gay Pride Month, then we should have a straight Pride Month too.
We have that the other 11 months out of the year.
What's our flag then?
Oh, our flag is the Pride flag. We include you too. You get a color in a segment as well. Wow, I got downvoted for that? How did I get downvoted for that?
On what?
Fag. Sorry, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I got downvoted for no Pride comment. Unless somebody tried to hit the like button and had fat fingers. If you did, fix it. Fix it now. Forever hold your peace. I just... Who cares? I think haven't we fought this fight? Why are we still fighting this shit? Why are we still doing this? Because homosexuality in the gay and lesbian community isn't accepted everywhere. And it won't be. It will never be acceptable by everyone. And you will never achieve that. So what your entire goals are lofty and stupid and impossible to measure.
Yeah, you're going to the Bible Belt and holding parades is probably not the best thing in the world to do.
What's your end goal? Like, what are you trying to achieve? What does success look like with Pride? Just that we're happy. Well, if you're not happy, why is a parade necessary to make you happy?
You know, if I'm not mistaken, you want the ability to get married legally and to be able to have your significant other on your insurance and get life insurance benefits and blah, 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 blah. And yeah,
that's great. Good. You deserve
it.
Good for you. Just don't care where your penis is. Keep it out of kids. Stop talking to kids about it. Stop trying to get me to talk about it with you. And you're not, because I've never had a gay friend go, Matt, I just want to share something with you. I was inside my boyfriend last night and I just wanted to bare my soul. Never has that conversation ever come up. Nope. And I've never heard a lesbian, hey, Matt, guess what? I had my tongue. Nope, never heard it. Never heard it. Never heard that conversation. I know. It's gross. Holy oh, Amazon. See, I thought that was a donation. Folks, we are in desperate need. $51.99 is what we start off. We've had one donation tonight. That's pretty
Just
low.
That's
Folks, doesn't even matter if it's $1. Right now, if everyone gave $1, we would have crushed it. If do me a favor, also, if you can't donate, you can like, share, and subscribe. Please do. We'll talk about the 10 days of darkness bullshit in a minute.
Which I'm very curious because I have no idea what that is.
Well, we'll be back. Here's a pee break. But if you haven't watched the commercial, this is why we do donations. So this is designed to make you feel guilty. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Olivia Spear, host of The Dumb Show. For 3.5 years, we never asked for donations. But after Facebook demonetized us for speaking the truth, we've had to turn to the one thing big tech can't cancel: you.
I'm Hayden, Matt and Olivia's daughter. This show's never chased sponsors or sold out. We've built something honest, and it's thanks to you.
I'm Ethan, their son. Every share, every dollar, every message, you're the reason we can keep calling out the BS and bringing color back to the world going gray.
If you want to help, we take PayPal, Venmo, or snail mail. You can send it to P.O. Box 2, Round Hill, Virginia 20142.
Can't donate? No problem. Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored. You can donate at thedumbshow.com/donate.
House of... I got to interrupt. Happens when you turn the dial harder, you can make a... House of Monet says, wow, the grift is real. Go get a real job. You find out who your dad is, and I'll go get a real job. The harder you grimace, the more effective it is.
You tighten it so freaking... I can't do it. I can't untighten
That's what she said.
That's what she's... Oof. Oof. Coming in with it. Pound it. Pound it. Pound.
Child got 15.
Ethan, you look like a hippie.
Totally tubular.
You know this is recording, right?
Okay, let's go. Smile. Donate. Don't start with me. Donations. Every time you don't smile, I'm going to punch you in the ribs. Donations. Take one. Scene one. Ready. Set. Ethan.
Break.
Ready. Don't screw it up.
Okay.
Ethan, don't mess this up. Ready. Set. Action. No. Whoa. Director calls action, not some stupid toddler.
But we've built something
There's
honest.
no but there. Why do you've been doing this since you were 2 years old. Try it again.
Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
He's so much better than you at everything.
Better at
Hayden, he's just like, even, it's just, go ahead, Hayden.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored.
That's a wrap. Well done, Spear family. I bet we make no money.
But I'm going to owe them money without.
Hayden, do your thing again.
Oh, yeah, cut it.
Baby shark, doo 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 doo.
What's interesting is that the left grabbed the word grift and they applied it to Donald Trump. And what's interesting is that in order to have a grift, which was actually done to confidence men, and this was back in the 1930s, and the etymology of the word started in the 20s and 30s, when they would run confidence tricks on the streets. This also actually goes back to postmodernistic England. And the word grift means that you are attempting to elicit monies illegally through a confidence trick or through something nefarious. And the question I have for you, in order to be a grift, there would have to be something illegal about what we're doing. What would that be? Besides literally poning your ass with an amazing clapback, I should be arrested for that. House of Monet. Otherwise, that's not really a gift. And when you say get a real job, I promise you this, my friend, that I guarantee, without even looking you up or knowing who you are, just by your picture, I am so confident on this, I'm willing to show you my W-2. I bet you this hobby of mine is more successful than anything you've ever done in your entire life. I'll bet you everything you make. And crack obviously is a lucrative profession. But if you would like to make that challenge, come on the show. Dial in. The phone number is, Olivia? You don't even know what the phone number is?
I don't know it by heart. It's got to be
What
on
a
the
grift.
screen.
What a grift. We can't even pay the phone bill.
I know. I don't even know our daughter's phone
Look at
number.
it. It's lower right corner.
276-200-2105.
Awesome. If you can find your burner phone, Monet, give us a call. Thanks, buddy. We appreciate it. Depends on which one you have. The one you keep from your wife, the one you keep from the cops, and the one you keep from your job. Let us know. Angela Hill has donated $21.10. I'm sorry. Did I bust? I'm sorry, Monet. I shouldn't have done that. I should have just let you get your sting in. Angela Hill has donated $21.10. I wished it was more, but doing weekly donation. Thanks for another. I didn't get the rest. Thank you so much for your donation. We appreciate it. We appreciate you supporting the grift. Do you remember when these guys used to upset me? Now I just love them. It's just entertainment, just ratings.
Yeah.
One thing you did. Oh, Debbie Hensley donated $6 just because I want Matt to say feet. So you didn't get a chance to see this last night. Last night, Dinesh D'Souza and Nick Fuentes.
I watched part of it.
It was really good.
I watched like the opening statements.
I got to say this. I'm very proud of Nick Fuentes. A lot of people said that he wasn't vicious enough. A lot of people are laughing. They must have heard the Monet comments. Sorry. I don't pull any punches. It's my show. I get to say whatever the fuck I want. If he doesn't like it, he can go ahead and submit it to the HR department. Do you know where that's at? Olivia@thedumbshow.com. Go ahead. That's my HR officer. She'll listen to that and subsequently file it appropriately. Yeah. Melanie says he is mad because he donated to the grifter Carmelo's family and they got that $900K home in the white area and a new expensive care. Did you hear that they actually they're actually, if I'm not mistaken, they're applying for some sort of bankruptcy insurance or whatever because they don't have enough money to pay for the lawyer because they literally bought the house and like the financial difficulties they're claiming. The Carmelo Anthony family. Yeah. And they've got how much money? From the money they raised? I didn't read the full article.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. The point is it's ridiculous. So here's the thing. Let's do this. I'll talk about the debate in a second. 10 Days of Darkness. If I'm not mistaken, this was a big Q thing with the Q drops where 10 Days of Darkness was interpreted. See, these people are such idiots because they watch stuff like, what's the name of that show?
Lemon and Sissy Lemon?
What?
Did they watch Sissy Lemon? I'm assuming.
What are you talking about?
You said they watched stuff like.
I said like. It was just obscure, honey. It's pulled that out of left field. I have no idea. I was like, what are you talking about? So what is the name of the movie where everyone gets to kill each other for one night? The Purge. So that's what the Q drop, they get this stuff. This is like the anonymous guys that wear the fox mask and everything. He's just putzes. And they get hard-ons for movies, and they're like, oh, I want to be that guy. So the 10 Days of Darkness is a Q conspiracy that the media will black out, will lose all the internet, will lose grid power, and will lose communications, water, everything. And just for 10 days, it'll just be complete darkness, and everything will shut down.
Sounds like the plot of Die Hard 4.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. This is cute. Listen, it was supposed to happen like during the initial drops. Then it was supposed to happen with Donald Trump. And then they were going to come up from Guantanamo Bay. And there was a military tribunal. And the reason they put a fence around it after J6 had nothing to do with Donald Trump. It's that he was still in power. The military had done a coup. And they were arresting all the senators so they couldn't escape. People are so stupid. People like General Mike Flynn. No offense, Stu Peters. Remember when they promised that Trump was going to be put back in office and they swore to us? Steve Bannon, it was all going to be overturned. The election was going to be overturned. They promised these things. Did it ever happen? No. And I told you it was never going to happen. I bet people to wear a Colorado Avalanche jersey who are Minnesota Wild fans. And instead of wearing the jersey when they were wrong, because they're like, he'll be reinstated on April 3rd. I said, you said this in December. You said it in January. You said it in February. You said it in March. Now it's April. You guys just keep kicking the can down the road. It's never going to happen. The United States government isn't going to admit that the election was stolen. It's never going to happen. So those people decided to stop watching the show because they were so ashamed of being wrong that they couldn't just have said, hey, Matt, you know what? You were right. And that would have been it. We would have popped a beer and everything would have been good. This is pure bullshit. And the thing is, there's a lot of programs out there like mine who are educating people on how to smell this stuff and know when it's complete crap. So Joshua Sewell. But see, Joshua, you can say that, but I haven't made any declarations to say I don't know what I'm talking about. See? Problem is, you don't know what you're talking about either. It's UR. Y-O-U-R-E. That little thing. You know what that thing's called? I'll give you $5 if you know what it is. You don't know the basic grammatical context of what you write. So listen, I know that much more than you do. But Joshua, here's the thing. I'm not the one making bold predictions. I'm just telling you why it isn't true. So I do know. I do know that this never was going to happen, and it didn't. And I told you it wasn't going to happen. So obviously I was right. But see, that's what happens when you don't sit here and make stupid predictions based on zero evidence, is that you don't have to do that. You simply can say, let's look at the facts. So it's nice that you say that, but you can't say that I don't know what I'm talking about, because everything I said that wasn't going to happen didn't. So my track record stands on its own merit. You can always call into the show. Liv, what's the number?
Put it back up, please. 276-200-2105.
Yeah. So Josh, don't get butthurt because you're a little Qer and you want it to be. Because you want it doesn't mean it is. You know, I understand, the 21 guns didn't go off, so therefore he's not really president. Okay. It was it was bioweapon labs that Putin was hitting in order to stop coronavirus, which started in Ukraine. You fucking morons. Hillary Clinton's a lizard person.
The Pizzagate.
She's a clone. You guys, you're so desperate for answers that you'll just make up anything you can in order to justify where you are. It's pathetic. So, nice job. It's nice to see we have some trolls on tonight. It actually is refreshing. YouTube is usually deader than a fucking stump. How that place makes any money if you literally don't shake your ass or make cat videos. It just shocks the shit out of me. Next video is the Misfit Patriot. He's kind of an interesting guy from time to time.
Cunt.
Whoa.
Anyway, it was really good. I'm really tired.
He immediately started off with a C word. He gets a little frustrated.
Language.
But I got to give him credit. Now, this guy is 100% pro-Israel, and that's fine. Good for him. He's not a big Nick Fuentes fan. He does stand up against the alt-right. And overall, I really don't care. Guy's a huge gun enthusiast. I think he's gay, and that doesn't really matter because I didn't ask and he didn't tell, and I don't care. But it's an interesting take on the debate, and I figure you'd want to hear it. Here it is. We're going to talk about that, Gail. We'll talk about the injunction. And the good thing is you can listen to it because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay, so I just finished watching the debate between Dinesh D'Souza and Nick Fuentes. Alex Jones hosted it. And first of all, I want to give credit to him because I've been screaming about this for I don't know how long. How there's this new debate me bro culture in the social media.
Hey, if the government can control hurricanes and the weather, why can't they put the fires out in California? Hey, if the government can control weather, why didn't they just go ahead and put a typhoon and flood Natanz and Fort Au and Esfahan? Just put a hurricane right over the desert. Why can't they do that? I mean, why didn't the Jewish space lasers knock out Natanz, Fort Au, and Esfahan? I'm just wondering. Anybody? No? Hey, if we have clone armies, why did we have record low numbers in recruitment in the military? Couldn't we have just cloned as many people as we want to fill those spots? I'm just asking questions, folks. Just asking curious questions, you know? Just curious. I'm just digging deep here. I'm just wondering. Hey, I have another question.
Hey, what if the moon was made cheap?
If Joe Biden's a clone, why did they put a worse version of him in office? Just questions. Just wondering. Are any of you Ku Klux Cluckers out there? You guys want to give me a call? Let me know. Would love to talk to you guys. Maybe you can tell me why the earth is flat. And you're so fucking stupid.
Space where these things aren't even debates. It's like you get Piers Morgan turning debates into Jerry Springer the same way that fucking Jake Paul is turning boxing into WWE. It's retarded. They're not debates. Just call them something else. Call them arguments.
Yep.
Right? but they're not debates. What Alex Jones just did tonight was he moderated a debate where it is very obvious, if you know his views, that he agrees with one person in the debate, and he didn't fucking show it. He didn't even once show that he was biased or tilting the scales. He just asked questions. He kept both people in line. It was a fucking masterclass. He won the debate, in my opinion. But a close second was Dinesh D'Souza. Now, I understand that people are going to be like, you just agree with him because you agree with him. Yeah, that's kind of how it fucking works, retard.
He is funny. I thought about having him on the show. I do like him. He's so foul-mouthed. I can't fucking believe it. So Dinesh D'Souza won the debate, but it wasn't a debate. And it really wasn't. Listen, it's different from these internet bros who are like, all they do is, that's a logical fallacy. That's a straw man argument. And you're just like, just because you look something up and you learn lingo of debate does not make you a debater. This is why we try to do it on this show and just have a conversation. That's why people like Monet and Josh won't call in, because what they want to do is they want to play gotcha, and they test you out. They say something stupid, and then you literally just come over and roll them over and crush them, and they're like, okay, fuck that. I'm not getting on the phone with that guy, because you know what will happen. I will mop the floor with you. Because if you want to have an intellectual conversation, you're ill-prepared. And if you want to have a conversation about getting down on Knuckle Dragon, I can do that better than anybody. There's two rules. You never insult a comic while he's on stage. And the second thing is never sleep with a lady with a dragon or a dagger tattoo. These two things are very well known. The third thing is don't fuck with a guy whose liberal kung fu is better than yours. And I will whoop your ass if you want to play that game. But if you want to have a conversation, we can do that too. I'd love to have that conversation.
Kevin just said Biden was a clone of a clone of a clone, just like in the movie Multiplicity.
Multiplicities. Yeah, right. I like toy trades.
It's kind of like, I like toast.
I like toast.
Our son. Gotta love our son.
So Livy, I appreciate you being on tonight. You've got the Democrats right now sitting here flipping out. Like, the sky's falling, the whole world's going to end.
It's because Democrat is not in the White House, so the world is ending for them.
Here is 6 minutes. And yes, folks, the grift is real. I'm going to refresh this to see if it's gotten any better. Ooh. It's going to be a tough night. Here is a video of CNN literally going on and on about how Donald Trump is winning and the Democratic Party is losing.
The mission was carried out with stealth and with precision. There were no American casualties. And while Congress is divided after receiving briefings on the extent of the damage, I'm sure that we've derailed Iran's nuclear program, at least temporarily. And there's some valuable deterrent effect for America's adversaries who witnessed last week's exercise. Then, last Tuesday, President Trump left the White House en route to Europe. At the time, there was a question as to whether Israel and Iran would honor a ceasefire. That caused the president to offer the most unfiltered, non-controversial, direct words that I can recall anybody ever saying about the Middle East.
We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
Cut to The Hague, where he arrived for NATO meetings and was able to wrangle an agreement from our allies to more than double their defense spending target from 2% of gross domestic product to 5% by 2035. Also, while at NATO, in a press availability, he did something rare for Trump and I found rewarding. He showed empathy. It came in an exchange with a Ukrainian journalist who said that her husband was a soldier. She asked whether the U.S. would supply her country with Patriot missiles.
Are you living yourself now in Ukraine?
My husband is there.
Wow.
And
I can see you very, it's amazing.
And me with the kids, I'm in Warsaw actually, because he wanted me to be.
Is your husband a soldier? No?
He is.
He's there now. They do want to have the anti-missile missiles, okay, as they call them, the Patriots. And we're going to see if we can make some available. I wish you a lot of luck. I mean, I can see it's very upsetting to you. So say hello to your husband, okay?
Also in that presser, he was more reflective and respectful than usual of our allies.
They want to protect their country, and they need the United States. And without the United States, it's not going to be the same. And I left here differently. I left here saying that these people really love their countries. It's not a ripoff, and we're here to help them protect their country.
Back at home, Trump claimed that he's reached a trade deal with China and soon expects the same with India. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick told Bloomberg that the deal was...
This goes on for 6 minutes, and it was...
being on CNN.
Right.
That's like freaking shocking. Did you watch a pig fly by?
No, but what you do find out is that liberals are, the sky is falling, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. And that's not what's happening. $10.80, Thomas Cawthon. Trying to help. Come on, dummies. We can all do a couple of dollars. Yeah, I agree. If we can. $89.89 is where we're at. We appreciate it. But the real thing is that the continued comments from the Democrat Party right now is that Donald Trump is going to bankrupt America. We've heard all this before.
We heard it for 4 years.
And you know what? This is
everything they said did not come true.
Wouldn't it just, you know, what would scare the shit out of me is if they were silent.
Oh, yeah.
Like if the Democrats were just like, we'll vote for it. I'd be like, what? What the hell's going on? This is the worst bill ever.
Like
what
Twilight Zone.
What is in here that's going to destroy our country?
Exactly.
Like, but when they talk, I'm just like, oh, we're good. We're good. We're set. Because every time they do this and they all have the same talking points, you know it's going to be good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
175 people on, folks. Appreciate the likes and shares and follows. Please continue to do that. Also, you can donate at thedumbshow.com/donate. As the gentleman pointed out, we are grifting you. We're taking your money. We want all your Social Security before the government takes it. So please help us out. If not, I'll hack your account because you've been on and I have all your IP addresses now. So give me money or else. I mean, that's basically what the Democrats are going to say about what we're doing here.
Exactly.
Frederick says, why is NATO spelt backwards OTAN? I don't know. Thomas Austin donated $21.10, trying to help keep the show going. Appreciate it. $110.99. We thank you, Thomas, very, very much. Why is NATO spelt backwards OTAN? I don't know. What if dog actually spelt cat? Think about that for a little bit. Representative Virginia Fox. What if dog spelled cat?
But it doesn't.
That's right. But what if it did?
What if grandmother would have balls at that point?
No. What if CAT actually wasn't CAT? What if CAT actually means DOG? Throw your entire world around. What if we were wrong with the alphabet?
I don't think we're wrong. Everyone's
How do
got
you
their
know?
own.
How do you know?
Everyone's got
How
their
do you know
own.
it's right? You don't know. This is Cure conspiracy. How about this? The only true language is mathematics.
You know
but Democrats don't believe in binary. So explain that to me.
I think it was Hayden may have said this. I don't know. It was a couple years ago.
What is it?
What if she goes, what if the color green isn't actually the color green?
That's what the dog
we were
mills
just
cat.
told that this is green. And what if it's actually not green?
What if your interpretation is green is different than what other people see because you're some sort of colorblind? Would you know?
No.
See, it's also stupid. Who cares? This stuff is just stupid. But that's the point, you know?
The only language. Rabbit hole.
That's right. House and Rules Committee, Senate passed GOP tax and spending cut bills. We know this. This gentleman is from Tennessee. This is the performative jerk off who went and stood, who got in the police officers and state troopers' face in the courthouse, and that they were dismissed from joining sessions and were told that it was about race and everything else. Yeah, I want you to listen to this guy, what he says about Republicans. This is really good. These are the people who are representing us. This is ridiculous.
You need the health insurance versus the right for profit.
Yeah, see, they say they're pro-life because they want the baby to be born, go to school, and get shot in the school. Die in the school, die on the streets. No. That is what they say. I move to strike his words.
We were going to be quiet, but you've gone over now.
I meant every word.
We are going to strike your words. be good to leave your words. Might be good to leave your words. Because that's how you feel. But you are not going to come into this room and impugn our integrity. You will not.
He's already done it. Why are you allowing him in there? Why? Because he's black. That's why. That's why. That's the only reason. If it was a white guy who said any of that, or who went after that police officer, who stood on cars, who protested, who was part of BLM, if it was WLM, if he was caught having a Nazi flag, but an Antifa flag is okay. You're not holding him accountable because he's black. We all know it. We all know it. Wow, what white privilege Virginia has. Seriously, lady. Tennessee has just dropped way far.
We are pro-life people from conception to natural death. Most of us are. And don't you come in here and say, we want to preserve life so people can get shot.
That's what I've seen.
Goodness me.
Are you through, Ms. Ledger-Fernandez? I hope so.
Well, Madam Chair.
You know, Liv, you know, you've got to have an opinion on this.
Well, yeah, the only reason that I wanted to have children is, you know, carry them in my stomach for 9 months while they use my bladder as a trampoline and my ribs as a freaking jungle gym, and freaking went through the sleepless nights and the poop explosion diapers and the throw up and the temper tantrums and the fighting and the screaming and the yelling just so I could send them off to school and get shot. Yep, that's totally why I wanted to have kids. I went through all this heartache just for that. That's the sole reason I wanted to have kids.
Could someone please hurry up, because they literally are going to be out of the house in like 6 years.
We don't want to pay for their college. Come on.
I mean, we're running out of time. So
this guy's a fucking
we
moron.
were told that our kids would be gone by now, and we're a little disappointed.
Well, you know
how
what?
many more Republican policies can I invest in order for this to stop? So stupid.
So he's pro-murder. Wouldn't we have been so lucky if his mother would have felt the same way?
That's horrible. You can't say that. It's so mean of you. We don't believe in abortion. But here's the thing. It's a good point, because more people abort. There's 67 million aborted babies. And these people only use babies as a cliche. You know what they're saying? They're saying now the Republicans are going to starve hungry children. I guess sucking them out of a womb and a uterus with a vacuum is better. They don't care about kids. Look at what they're doing to the inner city. Here is a black man who's looking at a white woman who has never voted for one policy, who would never even be caught dead in your neighborhood. Why don't you blame the Democrats?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you blame them? Because they're the ones who are making these decisions in your neighborhood. It's not Republicans. Doesn't make much sense.
No, it doesn't.
Folks, it is 2033. We are in the final half hour of the show. We've got a couple more things to show you. And then we are going to shovel off. A little bit of a slow night for donations. We are we're a third there. That's not too bad. But we definitely need to move up just a little bit. So if you have a chance, please do. A federal judge, 3 days, 2 days, 3 days after the Supreme Court said that federal judges can no longer shut down Donald Trump's executive orders based upon a whim unless they show serious harm. And if they do that, they can only do it on the state level, not the federal level. A federal judge has said that Trump's declarations on the border, executive orders, are unlawful, and he has to remove all of them. All of them. And essentially open the borders again.
What a moron.
Did they forget that the Supreme Court already ruled on this? Donald Trump can thumb his nose at these people. You don't get to decide what happens on the border. Who the hell do these people think they're?
You were not elected to run our country. Well, I don't really give a shit what you think.
Oh, Listen to this.
Shut down by a federal court in Washington. What is this about?
Yeah, so this is it's because of the Supreme Court ruling. There's not a availability to do this sort of nationwide injunction, but this is framed in a separate way. It's not really technically a nationwide injunction, but it applies to a large swath of people. It's essentially anyone who would be subject to this proclamation. Essentially, what the judge found is that this under this order that the president had said, he was sort of taking over the existing immigration system and all the protections that affords people in this area near the border. And sort of circumventing the law. And the judge said that while there's notable challenges on the border, that's not really allowed under the law. You have to follow these protocols, and you just can't create a whole new system that doesn't give anybody any means to apply for asylum or to have their case, go through a typical due process. Katie.
Okay, Ryan Riley, thank you very much. Shut down.
Yeah, that made no sense at all.
No.
It's like I would recommend that they both watch the news. I think that might be a little bit clearer. Representative Riley destroys House Republicans for the assault on the middle class. Don't tell me you give a shit about the middle class when all you're doing is shitting on the middle class, is what he said. Here is also a video that is really tragic. Hey, Amy, slow down on the spam, will you? It's like every comment is like promotional stuff. Just like once every 10, 15 minutes. We don't need to like spam chat with that stuff. Thank you.
Bless you.
Is that your direction, Liv?
No.
Okay. Yeah, let's just slow it down a little bit. Like chat should be full of comments from people and stuff. And yeah, they don't need to have too much information. They already know it. And if they don't, it's on the screen. And just like once every maybe 10 minutes, 5 minutes, something like that. Liv, what do you think?
10 minutes.
Okay. All right. So this is a video of youths older than 10 years old, 11 years old, fighting in New York City, and one of them pulls a knife. Would like to get some thoughts from you, and then we'll talk about Alcatraz, and then we're gonna go because tonight is a little slow. Here we go.
Get it sturdy and start to get it on. Oh, he backed off, folks. Oh, he obnoxious. Oh, he obnoxious. He obnoxious. He up the notch. Hold on. There's too much shit going on worth the 8-track. Oh, no, hold on. Oh, little homeboys got love. The little homeboys got love. Hold on.
You know what's worse than the 11-year-old pulling a knife in the middle of a fight?
I don't know. Careful, because this is usually where you say.
It's the freaking grown men cheering them on.
Oh yeah.
What are you doing?
And why are you pulling a gun on an 11-year-old kid? Whether he has a knife or not, is it really necessary to pull a gun on him?
No.
What are you going to do? You're going to shoot him? I don't know. There's a lot of things that I feel. Like if Ethan turned on me with a knife, I don't need to pull a gun on him. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I didn't see that kid try to stab anybody. I think the kid felt like he was going to get jumped and he pulled the knife to defend himself.
Yeah, because when you first said that a kid pulled the knife, I thought it was the kid in the white T-shirt.
Yeah,
pulled it.
and that's a kid.
That's how
that kid's what, almost a half a foot taller than him, and
because he was reaching
50.
into his fanny pack or whatever the heck it was.
Yeah, so I mean, but first of all, this is the mentality in New York. I mean, this is what these kids are constantly dealing with. It's absolutely ludicrous.
Yep.
So I don't know, man. That part of me is like, I can understand why. And you don't know nowadays as a cop, but like that cop pulling a gun on an 11-year-old, I don't know. I don't know.
And it's the fact that if he was that close to be able to assume, I didn't even see the knife in the video.
Yeah.
And he was able to do that. Why didn't he stop the fight in the first place?
Well, there's a lot of questions there. Why are 8 cops running from, where are these cops located? Where are they staged? And I'm not trying to go after the police officers, you know? And I understand that there's people who, there are kids who shoot at 11 years old and do drive-bys. I get it. But this kid was backing up and pulled out a knife to defend himself. I'm not saying that that's right. What I'm saying is why pull a gun? Yeah, Melanie, you're not hearing what I'm saying. You're talking about people gunning down people. It's a knife. It's a kid that was about to be jumped by 4 or 5 guys, and he's like, "You're not jumping me." And then you put him on the wall, up against the wall, handcuff him, and pull a gun on him. I just, it's not me defending the kid. It's criticizing how stupid these kids are, but also knowing that I've been put in a corner like that when I was younger. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I've had a knife pulled on me when I was younger. And I've been in some pretty serious fights when I was younger. And I'm not saying that it's okay.
Yeah, we don't know the history. I mean, maybe this kid is getting beat up every day and his mom or dad gave him the knife to protect himself.
I don't know. It's not about that. It's just about you are a 280-pound man. And that is an 11-year-old who weighs probably 70 pounds.
If that, he looked pretty young, pretty little.
Tina says 21-foot rule regardless. I have an off. Right. Well, why is he closing that distance? You know what I'm saying? Like, Tina, do you think procedurally that was correct? Would you have pulled mace? Would you have pulled your taser? Would you have stayed 20 feet back and instituted a very strong command presence and directed that child? Because once that cop showed up, that kid turned around and complied immediately. I just don't know if you break leather in that situation. I just, that's all I'm saying. I don't know the answer to that question. And I certainly wouldn't have turned my back to 4 other people who were ready to beat the hell out of that kid. You know what I'm saying?
Now, was that, here's the other question. It looks
Yeah.
like it was in a mall. Was that an actual police officer? Or was that mall security?
Mall security don't carry guns.
Well, it's New York. Maybe they did.
Off-duty police officers can, but I don't think security guards are able to carry a gun. Absolutely. You go level higher always than the threat. Right. Exactly. A knife is a PR-24. Knife is is pepper spray. A knife is a taser. And to be honest with you, before I pull a gun, I'm going to punch the little fucker in the face and knock him to the ground. Or I'm going to grab him by the back of the neck or grab him by the wrist. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I understand where everybody's coming from. I'm not defending the kid. I'm questioning, what are you doing? Our mall security is certified in guns. Okay. Well, then that mall security is an idiot. CJ Jenkins donating $10.80. Hi, Matthew and Miss Olivia. Hi, CJ. Thanks for donating.
Hi, CJ.
We sure need it tonight. 121.79 is where we're at. It's funny, I cursed us. I was like, oh, well, we've hit goal every single time. It looks like tonight will not be that night. Adam Kinzinger demonstrates, and yep, 100% Matt, that is the rule and regulation and how people are trained. Well, thank God we got one. Mel Lowe, $51.99. Thank you, Mel, for saving the day. It's been a rough night. Thank you, ma'am. We love you. Thank you so much for helping us out. Let's go. Goal. Thanks, Mel. Mel comes in here and just cracks the whip. Let's go. Here's Adam Kinzinger. You guys remember this guy? He failed. He was a one and done. Everyone hates him. They hated him in his party. He was a Republican gone.
I don't even remember who he is.
Well, he's just a turncoat. He was with Liz Cheney and the J6 committee and was a Republican turned against Trump, was a never Trumper. Did they do it to get the kid out of a bad situation? I don't know. I would never pull a gun to get a kid out of a bad situation. I'm just questioning it. Why 21 feet and not a even 20? Because it's the response time. Because a person can close a gap. Now, I will put that to the test. If I know you have a knife and you're 21 feet, I'm going to put you down. You will have 2 in the chest and 1 in the face. You're not closing a gap of 21 feet on me with my draw mechanics. There's just no way. I'll put you down. As Justified says, I'll put you down.
It was Justified.
It was Justified. Now, we need to watch that show again. Now, if you run at me and I'm not ready and I don't see you coming and I turn around, you're going to win. But you've got to kill me too. And you have to stop both hands from getting on that firearm and stopping my mechanics, and you have to kill me with the first strike of that knife because I'm still going to shoot you. So I understand, and it's not easy to kill a person with a knife, folks. It takes some very malicious intent, okay? But the adage is 21 feet gives you like 3.5 seconds, maybe a little bit less than that, 3 seconds, I think is, what is it, Tina? Is it 2.75 to 3 seconds, whatever it is, to react and draw in a safe amount of time where that person won't close the distance on you. So, but I'm telling you, the 21-foot rule is a good precautionary tale, but it doesn't require. Okay, tell Mel, hi, what's up?
No, just from that video, and that's why I put the comment going, did they do it to get the kid out of from the other ones that were there? Because the kid in the white t-shirt with the fanny packy thingy that was trying to reach into it to grab something out of there, did they do it to, and the way it looked was, and the kid backed up right against the wall, like he was not going to play with the police, like whatever, he was not, whatever. And I agree, he was going to defend himself from the mob that was going. So I'm thinking maybe they just did it just to make the situation like go calm really quick, whatever, get the little kid out of the whatever. Because the one that was the perpetrator, the one in the white t-shirt with that black fanny packy thing hanging around his neck was the aggressor.
Yeah, probably had a gun.
He was reaching for something in that thing and he couldn't get it out fast enough to go against that little kid. So I'm thinking,
right, but the officer he should have flagged the threat, and he flagged the guy with a knife. He should have stayed back and he should have done situational awareness and panned the area with his gun down at a 45, used his command voice, and if he wanted spatial awareness, he did a horrible job of doing it. And this is where I believe he's probably untrained.
Yeah, no, I agree, like whatever, but I'm thinking like in the heat of the moment, like whatever, it was just.
He pulled a gun and wanted to shut it down right away. Well, that'll do it. It'll also get a kid killed.
Yeah. Okay.
But
anyways, that was.
But Mel, you don't point anything that you don't point your gun at anything you're not willing to destroy.
Oh, I know.
So,
I know.
so you don't point your gun at an 11-year-old unless you're going to put him down. You don't even break leather unless you feel there's a serious threat to your life. And yes, a pocket knife. First of all, it was a pocket knife. It's not like this guy pulled out a machete. Thomas Griffith says, have you ever seen the ground they can get to you in 2.268 seconds? Yes, I do. And like I said, 3 seconds. I do. That's why I draw at about 1.75 on target.
Yeah.
I will draw and put 3 rounds down range in 1.75 seconds. Yeah, that's why I train. So I don't care. If somebody pulls a knife on me and they're 5 feet away from me, they're still going to, the mechanics that I'm going to produce are not going to be a gun. I am going to I'm going to disarm that person, or I'm going to find something that is going to use a shield, whether it's a phone book or a jacket or something, to have something to defend and minimize the amount of penetration or cuts or lacerations that person can put on me. And then I am going to literally break their fucking nose or jaw.
I know, but you never bring a knife to a gunfight, so it is what it is. But I'm like, that's always been my whatever. You pull a knife, I'm pulling my gun.
Yep.
So,
yeah. No, I understand that. I respect that. I mean, that's the Sean Connery, that's the Chicago way. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's an 11-year-old kid. I don't know, man. I think cops.
And there were no jackets. There were no they didn't have anything like whatever to wrap the whatever the
that officer has. Mel, I'm not talking about the other kids. I'm talking about the officer. The officer has a flak jacket. The officer has pepper spray. The officer has a PR-24 in his back pocket. The officer has a stun gun. He's got plenty of options other than a handgun in that situation. You know what? I bet you we're going to see in the next 24 to 48 hours that he will have a reprimand and probably be fired from his job. You don't think that's happening?
Oh, well. Oh, most definitely. Like, yeah, that's a given. Because yes, it was an overreaction to a situation that could have been done differently. But then I would go back to that female cop that thought she was pulling her taser out and pulled her 9mm out and shot them, like whatever. I'm like, so yeah, people are human. Shit happens. he didn't have a good day, and yeah, it wasn't the right response, but it stopped what was going to happen next, which was, I'm thinking that that little kid was going to get unalived by a punk that was
That's possible.
twice as.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. He could have pulled out a gun out of that fanny pack, you know? And when you have a fanny pack and you're a kid who would get made fun of for having a fanny pack, the probably only reason to have a fanny pack is because to put a gun in it.
He got a gun in it.
It's
So,
possible.
yeah.
But that cop didn't draw down on the guy with the fanny pack. He drew down on the kid with a knife. That's my point. I just disagree with his selection. And you know, Tina's talking about the force continuum, which essentially is the force of escalation. And I agree with her. I think it was an overreaction. Yes, we have bad days, but cops don't get to have bad days. That's when people go home dead.
I know.
I know.
In this hyper whatever, I just, and to me it's, again, lack of training, all this negative thing about police forces and whatever. It's a snowball effect. Like, you're just not going to get the best of the best anymore, because the best of the best have retired, left, and going, hey, fuck, I can't deal with this shit anymore. Like, it's just,
yeah. Well, and let's not talk about the physical fitness of the officer either.
Exactly.
No, I know.
All right.
I already love you guys.
I love you too, buddy.
Mel,
Appreciate you.
thanks.
Good call. Thank you for talking to us. Real quick, Tina Savage says, our vests don't protect from knives, and it's your life or the lives of others. So you do think he should have pulled his gun? I'm confused. Tina, I'm getting mixed signals here. So he should have pulled his gun. I'm interested to find out. What do you think, Livy?
I think the whole situation, like I said, the fact that there are grown men videotaping this and watching this and laughing and cheering them on as opposed to trying to stop this, I think it's ridiculous.
See, I hear a lot of people saying, well, maybe he was using the gun to prove a point. You don't prove a point by drawing on an 11-year-old. I don't know. I'm not defending the kids. The kids are idiots. And the kids are probably going to be dead in a few years anyway with the way they're going. That's
exactly.
I'm not talking about the kids. I'm talking about the officer. We're debating the officer's choice and his selection.
Yeah.
These are the things that we've been talking about for years now, about de-escalation techniques. And that's not a de-escalating technique. I mean, what if that kid in the fanny pack just backed up and then plugged that officer because he's like, he pulled a gun on me. I wasn't doing anything.
Exactly.
Our vest, over 13 officers have been unalived by juveniles, even using stolen cars this year. Okay, I don't see. This is what I don't understand. What your point is. So you're saying that in any situation that a cop feels threatened, he should pull his gun on a child.
That was Melanie, not Tina.
No, I know it's Melanie. Okay. I know. I just read it.
Okay.
But Melanie keeps just giving me all these facts. And that doesn't, that's 13 people. That's like, okay, so that's like unarmed black shootings. There's 17 a year. So therefore you guys agree with kneeling? It's not the number. It's the question of, did the officer follow procedure? And I'm asking the cop in here, did they follow procedure? Melanie, I don't know if you're a cop or not. So did they follow procedure? Is that force continuum? Yes, absolutely. The force continuum means you go one higher. It's not supposed to be a fair fight. You go one level higher. So a knife, it's a gun. Vicky, everyone can call in. There's no prescription of not. Yeah, of course. So you're saying if someone pulls a knife, you pull a gun. And one higher is not a taser. It's not pepper spray. It's not a PR-24. It's a gun. Let me know. Even on an 11-year-old kid. Yep. Okay. To me, that's insanity. Both were sad choices rather than bad. I hope the kid gets out. I just don't listen. I have seen way too many negligent discharges from people who are pulling a firearm and pointing it where it doesn't deserve to be pointed at. And my question is, maybe I agree with the gun pull. Fine. I agree with it. Should he have broken leather? I don't think so, but he did. But he turned his back on the secondary threat. Any perception of threat to life, he can pull a gun. Yep. Okay. So Tina, you were in that situation. Kid pulled a knife. Guy was searching in his fanny pack. You would have turned your back to him and pulled a gun and aimed it at the kid and held it on him while you closed in on him without backup, and then put your gun away with your back exposed and made the arrest. That's what you would have done. I mean, come on. I'm baffled that this is even an argument. I don't even understand. I really, truly, I'm just baffled. Because if that's the police work of today, that you turn your back on a possible assailant, a second conflict in the altercation, who is searching through their fanny pack and could possibly have a gun, and you draw down on a kid, put him up against the wall, secure your firearm, and start an arrest. I don't know. I don't understand.
Yeah, Vicky said something happened with her son at some point.
Vicky can call in.
Yeah.
I want to hear it. Yeah, but the kids these days are first fighting teacher, unaliving parents. Yeah, I know. I'm aware. I'm aware. I'm talking about the procedure. Was that the procedure standard that an officer would do? I'm curious. Can someone answer that question? Thank you, Mr. Hollandaise, 103.48. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
These are not the same type of kids even 10 years ago. It's crazy. I'm aware. But I'm still asking the question, did the officer follow procedure? Let's watch it again. Because this one seems to be, listen, I like nights like this because this gets the blood flowing. You know what I mean? Let's watch it again. Let's break it down. Let's break it down now. All right. So, kid in the hoodie, we'll call him Trayvon.
Oh, my God.
Is in a group with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kids. And you got kids circling.
They start to get it sturdy and start to get it on.
And he's getting surrounded, right? So this kid now has 1, 2 on his shit. First of all, take your hoodie off, kid, because you're blinding yourself on your peripherals. I'd take that hoodie off completely. They get on top of that thing and grab it off you. They're going to swing you around like a yo-yo. Kid on the right here goes for something in his fanny pack. And that's an oversized fanny pack, let's be honest. Those officers were not there when he engaged. And assuming they had your 6 is, I don't know, I wouldn't do that. I just think it's a difference between military and police. All right, so he squares up. He's going for something in his bag. And he's got a knife. All right, so that's over a 3-inch blade. He's got it where the knife is pointing back behind his leg. See this?
Yep, I see it now. Okay,
So
so he's had it. Okay.
So he has it there. But he pulled it out when he went into his bag, I think. Let's find out when he pulled it out. Because I may change my mind. So he has it there. It's up against his wrist and it's behind. Assassin's Creed style. So he's had that.
He's had it the whole time.
No, he just pulls it out there. It's in his hoodie. And when he gets surrounded, he pulls out the knife. See? It's in his hoodie and boom, now he just pulled it out. So he pulls it out when he's surrounded. So he's outnumbered. He has a right. And this kid's tiny, man. This other kid's got a foot on him and probably 25 pounds, right?
Yep.
You think that cop's listening to his radio traffic when he's screaming at a kid with a firearm pointed at him? Cop sees this whole thing. See, look at the cop. Cop is right here engaged with these kids.
Yep, I see him.
And he sees this altercation going down. And this kid, he's got a gun. I'm going to blow the shit out of this. I would bet you $100. I think Tina would too. That grip means gun. Let's find out. I don't know, man. That looks like he's got a gun to me. Look at this down here. Look at the bottom and then look at this profile. Tina, is that a gun? He could stab one of those kids in a heartbeat. Sure. This kid could shoot. That looks like a gun to me. Am I wrong? Cop is right here. Kid's got something.
It looks like the dude in the white has got something. Because he pulled his hand out of his fanny pack.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And then,
but it looked like he had a gun. Looked like a pistol to me. Officer pulls gun. All right, who does he draw on? Does he draw on both? Let me see. All right, he's on the kid in white first. So when he pulls, he's right on that kid's head, by the way. Leans forward and switches target to this kid. I don't think he found the smaller kid to be the, look at the kid took off his hoodie. Smart. No, there's hoodie kid. So, okay, we mixed him up because it looked like he changed right there. I was like, God, he's like Clark Kent. So that's another kid. Hoodie kid. So he draws down on the kid on white first. Boom. See that? That's where he's aiming.
yeah, I see that.
Then he switches to the hoodie kid.
Because the kid in the white pulls his hands out of his fanny pack and there's nothing in there.
Still no cops. Takes his hand off his pistol. Okay, so he's secure, right? Firearm is now down at a 45. Sees that he's complying. Tells him to turn around. See that? Using his hand, tells him to turn around. Now you've got what appears to be a small security guard. But that, nope, not a security guard. It's like, well, the guy works at the store. So cop still has his back turned. Puts the kid up, gets cuffs. Still no cops. Yeah, dude. Tina, come on. That was a stupid idea to turn his back. I'm not going to defend that. I can now see that I understood why he pulled a gun. I see it now. So I'll give him that. I still think turning his back is stupid. Then the other police officers show up and get the kid. Wait a second. Why are you calling me an armchair quarterback? You don't think I did this shit in real life?
Who said that?
Wait a second. Don't be disrespectful. How that's just childish. You think you're the only one who's on operational security? You think you're the only one who's had a gun pointed at him? That you have the right to call me an armchair quarterback? Yeah, I don't think I would ever speak to you that way. I would appreciate it if you would, I don't know, show a little respect. I'm trying to show you respect. You have seconds to analyze. Yeah, I'm aware. And that's why you should be excellent at your job at all phases. It's not being an armchair quarterback. You're telling me officers don't review video? They don't review their personal body cams? They don't teach lessons on what to do? Are they being armchair quarterbacks? I'm not questioning this officer's ability to do his job. I'm questioning on the decisions that he made. Yeah, I wouldn't speak to anyone that way, like that. I don't know. Maybe don't be so sensitive. I don't know, because I'm not upset at anybody here, but I'll tell you that if you don't critique and train, accidents will happen. If I was in that situation and I saw it, and now that I've slowed it down and looked at it, I probably would have drawn my weapon. Yeah. I certainly wouldn't have turned my back to the assailants. I certainly wouldn't have exposed myself. I would have kept them in a pie, and I would have kept them within 180 degrees, and I would be checking off targets and making sure that until backup arrived, I wouldn't go in and try to apprehend, and I would give that person a command. And if that person came with that knife and lunged for another person, probably shoot him. But let's be transparent.
She was responding to somebody else. She wasn't calling you that.
But I'm the only one commenting.
But she was responding to somebody else.
But I'm the only one commenting. So how does that make any sense? I'm the one critiquing this. So who are we talking to? Well, if you always debrief, then why am I an armchair quarterback? Because I'm not being an armchair quarterback. I'm trying to assess what happened in this video and if it was the right decision. That's all. And I don't agree with everything that happened in the video. You can call in if you want. Thomas says...
She said she's talking about others, not you.
But I'm the only one critiquing.
I know, but she's talking about, I don't know. But, she's
But that doesn't make any
talking
sense.
about others.
Why just randomly say that in the ether that
Because
people
she's
are,
replying to somebody else.
but that doesn't matter. I'm the only one critiquing. It doesn't make any sense. It's like randomly.
Everyone's critiquing in the audience.
No, they're not. No, they're not. People are saying this is the force of escalation. Mel had her opinion about escalation. Tina's had hers. Melanie's had hers. But me saying, okay, what if I would have said, well, there's a lot of armchair quarterbacks out there. Who am I talking to? I'm talking to the people making comments. I'm the one who's critiquing the video. I'm the only one sitting here and saying that this officer made some bad choices. So that's armchair. That's exactly the definition of armchair quarterback, is it not?
I've never heard the expression.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's basically somebody who sits by the sidelines and critiques other people but doesn't have any skin in the game. So I find it offensive. That's all. I think it's a demeaning comment that I would never say to anyone who has done the job. That's all. Tina Savage, is that a fair assessment? No. Even if she was talking to Ava Lynn, listen, I'm trying to understand this because I'm not mad. I'm just like, wow, I just shocked. If the officer was killed by an 11-year-old with a knife, the conversation would be, why did the officer not pull his gun and take control of the situation? That's Ava Lynn's comment. It's a good comment because it's accurate. Absolutely. And then Ava Lynn Camp, exactly, always armchair quarterbacks. So we're talking about this. I'm critiquing, shouldn't poll. It's a counterpoint and could have said, that's a really good point. It is a good point. But saying, yeah, everyone's an armchair quarterback. I'm not armchair quarterbacking. That's not what this is. We've done this 100 times before. And most of the time, we point out the good, we point out the bad, we point out the indifferent, and we try to be fair and consistent. I disagree with his approach. I disagree initially with drawing down, but after seeing the kid go in the fanny pack and where he put his firearm, now it makes sense. Then when that kid took off and ran and got out of there, and I don't have line of sight, the kid could have went up the stairs. He then turns his firearm into the next threat, which is the knife. Okay, that's a good choice. And we've understood that. My point being is that I would not have turned my back to somebody who possibly had a gun. That's the next point. And then it's like, well, they could be radioing in his ear. And I'm sorry, that's not standard operating procedure. I don't think the police officer instructs that, to go and take an assailant down without backup unless there is a direct threat. And the moment that kid put that knife away or went like this or turned around, I mean, you saw what the kid did. He showed he was surrendering. And the officer even put his firearm away. The threat ceased to exist, right? I do agree all officers should meet physical requirements, not be overweight, etc., because that only puts other people's lives in danger, but their own too. Yeah, once again, it's a question. It's not judging him. I mean, good for him. He's an officer, security guard, whatever he is. I believe that he should be in good shape too. Can you zoom in on the kid in white when he turns around when the cop arrives to see if something is in his hand? Sure. But you're not an armchair quarterback, Evelyn. What you were is making a very observant and astute point that I absolutely didn't take into consideration. If the kid would have stabbed the officer, would I be saying, why didn't he pull his gun? I don't know if I would say that. In this case, until I broke it down and saw that the kid grabbed something out of his fanny pack that looked to be a gun, after looking closer, he should have pulled his gun. Do I think he should have turned his back? No. That's the critique. But initially, I already backpedaled. Sounds like Tina was saying armchair quarterback in reference to the hypothetical that people would be judging. Right, but I'm judging him now because he did something, right? You see what I'm saying? So it goes both ways. Listen, if that's not who Tina was referring to, then fine. It's fine. I'm not, do I seem angry? I just was a little bit shocked. Tina has been on this show for a long time, and we have exchanged ideas worse than this. And I just wouldn't use the term armchair quarterbacking. I think it's derogatory. It's people who are weak-minded who are armchair quarterbacks. It's people who've never put themselves in that position before. I don't think that's what I'm doing. But let's go ahead and zoom in on it. Let's see. Once again, we'll figure it out. No offense. If you weren't talking about me and you say that, then okay, you weren't talking about me. Okay, so which one? Right? Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. I don't think he has anything in his hand at this point. I think he let it go. See right there, he's holding it.
Yep.
And this kid, look at, he's holding it. He's trying to, and this kid lunges, and look at this kid stop and back up, like, whoa, dude. And he's holding it right now.
You know what? You know what I'm thinking right there? If he did have a gun in there, the police officer's walking in.
Yeah.
He can see the police officer. That's probably why he pulled out his hand out and didn't show it.
Yeah.
It's smart.
Yeah. But look, once that gun comes out, those kids book. Okay. So they probably took off. I just don't see him check his 3 o'clock. I don't see him check his 6 either. Looks down, puts his gun in his holster. I mean, even that, right? I mean, a lot of people could say, well, he's so close with his firearm. Kid could grab his firearm at that point, right? But that kid's surrendering, right? That kid is absolutely not hostile. Look, he puts his arms behind his back. Kid's like shitting his pants. But you still got to treat him as a threat, right?
Yep.
Okay. There's no big misunderstanding. Tina Savage is a big girl. Tina Savage can handle herself. She doesn't need to call in. If Tina wants to call in, she can. I'm not mad at Tina. I didn't like the comment. That's all. I thought it was unnecessary. That's all. And if she wasn't talking about me, who cares? Even in this context, what Evelyn said was not armchair quarterbacking at all. And I'm not armchair quarterbacking. The conversation is it doesn't need to be dramatic. I didn't like the comment. I expressed my opinion. We've moved on. I hope we've moved on. If we haven't moved on, well, then hurt feelings aside, it is what it is. Fanny pack is pure street gang. Yeah, the kid definitely looks like he went into his bag. You got to wonder if the cop said, go get the kid in white. He's got a firearm. I don't know. It looks like some of them went into that store and the officers go in there.
Maybe there's another entrance on the other side.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's a subway.
No, it's a subway. Yeah. Well, this kid jammed boogies. He gets out of there. No, yeah, the cop, in no time did he put his finger in the trigger guard. But still, that right there, you have an assailant. Yeah, so the question being is, do you keep the gun on him and keep operational control of your zone, or do you go in and arrest? And if you know backup is on the way, now that the kid is showing some sort of deference, do you stop, secure the area, and wait for backup to arrive before going in for the arrest so you can secure your firearm so there's no threat? Once again, it's a critique. And they're going to talk about this. They're going to look at this film and they're going to say, here's your training opportunity. Here's what you did right. What you did right is you recognize that there was a threat. You put your firearm at the threat. And if the threat would have drawn that weapon, you would have put him down. Once that threat had fled the scene, you moved your firearm to the secondary threat, which was the knife. That's a positive. You controlled the situation. Here's where you didn't do it great, is that you got your firearm out of its leather within reaching distance of a threat. You went in and should have waited for backup, and you apprehended him while having your back exposed to a possible secondary and 3 or 4 other threats. I mean, right? Isn't that it? The police officer didn't have his hair on the trigger. No, that's fine, and that's good training, and I would expect that from anyone who's handled a firearm. Can understand Tina's frustration dealing with her current situation in Portland. So can I. I get it too. That's what should have been done. Actually, he should have secured both kids till backup arrived, not allow one to go away. Well, that was my point. The moment that he turned, when that other kid ran, he had to address the threat with the kid with the knife. At that point, he's committed. I understand it. I don't know if I would have approached and gotten closed that gap and allowed the other perpetrators or people who are involved to be on my six. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So I agree with you. Should he have drawn his knife? Sure. Or his gun? Sure. At that point, seeing and watching the video for a second time, if it was just the knife and the kids separate and that kid backs off, would I have drawn my firearm? I don't know. I just don't know the answer to that question. What I'm wondering, and Tina answered, and so did Melanie, is what is the proper proportional response? And the proportional response, if someone has a knife, you pull a gun. That's what I'm hearing. Hey, Nick, where are you guys at? Are you ranked yet, or what's going on?
Yeah, I just saw him come on.
Is it one?
By the way, still point, they were number 3 like 2 days ago. Well, tomorrow is the last day of voting, and this is it. They have to be number 1 or they're out.
So here's what we need to do. We need everyone to go and vote. We got 181 people on in total.
I'm going to post the link
plus another 100 in Rumble and Wimkin. Please do. I hope Tina stayed on. I just, guys, you don't understand. We're assessing a situation. I'm utilizing Tina as I have 100,000 times on this show for police advice. And when you read that, it sounds like anyone who critiques this is being an armchair quarterback. That's the way I took it. I'm thinking the officer never saw a gun and the kid took his chance to get out of the mall. Where was this? This was in New York. But I also, there's no way he didn't see the other kid's hand in the bag. That to me would be a larger threat. But that's why he pointed it at that kid first. You know what I'm saying? That kid was approaching. He was reaching inside of his knapsack, and I believe that there was a profile of a firearm there. And I don't have a clear enough picture. I could be absolutely wrong, but when we look at this photo, tell me that's not a gun. Liv, look at this.
Oh yeah, it totally looks like a gun.
I mean, tell me that's not a revolver.
Yeah, it looks.
He's got different tonation on the handle that looks brown. It's a dark mass. It looks like a gun to me.
Yeah.
That looks like a gun to me. So that officer had a really good look. And that kid, by the time that officer engaged with him, I don't know if he saw the gun because look at the way the kid's positioned.
His hand was also out of the...
And he's away from the officer. Officer hasn't even started looking over here yet. So I don't know. There's a lot of yeah. So there's a lot of speculation. But if I was the officer, I retract my comment. He should have pulled. And I don't know if I would have gone in to arrest the kid when there were other threats. That's all. Yeah, we're posting a link. Let me post the link. It works better when I do it, I guess.
I just posted, but you posted again. Yeah. That's totally cool.
Yeah, I think there's other angles of video too that we're going to be able to see, and I think we'll probably get an update on this. You know what? Let me look to see if there is. There's the link. If you guys can go vote for Still Point real quick, we're going to be heading out here in a few minutes. We're at 277.26. We're $23 away from goal. Hard way to hit goal. I think I've upset Tina one other time, and I think she told me to shut up and not worry about it. Let's hope that's the same case. Wireless car, or maybe this is her. Maybe it's her. Let's find out. That'd be nice. What's going on? This is Matt.
Hi, Matt. It's Vicki.
Hi, Vicki. What's going on?
Oh, I just wanted to tell you about an incident that happened with me and with Roger, my son. You know, who has autism.
Yeah, I do.
It was it's been quite a while now, maybe 6 years that this happened, 6 years ago. But I didn't know what was happening until the police officers arrived with my son. He was all dressed in black, and he had a backpack, and he had his it's not a paintball gun. Maybe it was a paintball gun.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like an assault rifle, but it wasn't an assault rifle. You know what I mean? It was like I think it was a paintball or yeah, I'm just going to go with that because that's what I think it was. But he, the police officer told me that what happened that night is what Roger snuck out of his bedroom window. He wanted, and he filled his backpack up with water, bottles, granola bars, some T-shirts, and he was going to protect the homeless people. And there's hardly any homeless people in Holland. But he wanted to be like a hero, I guess. And, you know, with his autism, I'm just thankful that they were understanding with all this. But what he was doing, he was like sneaking, you know, through houses and like, you know, acting out like if he was, you know, like a protector or something. And some people called the police, especially, you know, over here by the hospital. He was going behind people's, you know, in their backyards, like cutting through homes and stuff.
Oh my God.
And yes, and so what the police shined their lights on him, their floodlight or whatever they are, the bright lights on him, and told him to drop his gun and put his hands over his head. But he was surrounded by like 8 cops. But I'm so thankful that, you know, nothing happened to him, because we've heard of the stories about that disabled kid in his yard, and the you know, police shot him to death.
Yeah.
When he was in his yard, and they thought he was a threat, you know, and it's just, it was so scary because, you know, my son didn't know any better at the time. I mean, he wouldn't do that now. He's matured a lot, but, yeah, I mean, you know, kids want to be superheroes, you know? And if it wasn't for our community is really cool around here, but if there was like a new person on staff or something that, you know, just got nervous because they saw his gun and just shot him, you know?
Yeah.
You know, it could have happened so easily, you know?
Yeah, it's just it's crazy. Folks, I just posted the link to Facebook and YouTube. You can take a look, and hopefully go in there and vote for Nick, and let's get them to #1. Yeah, listen, police officers have a tough enough job. Police officers have an unbelievable and difficult time in doing this. I want to clarify one thing with Tina. Tina, there's a delay in the comments. You know that, right? And I can't see replies. So when you said it's a reply, you made other comments and said, no, I wasn't talking to you. And you said it twice. I didn't see those until after our interaction. You've been watching the show long enough. You guys have been watching the show long enough that altercations like this can happen. Altercations between us can happen based upon a lack of communication. It's always better to call in. And if you can't call in, be patient with me, because I can only see the comments when they come in. You know what I mean? Vicky, thanks for calling. That's a scary situation. It's a good point. We don't know what was going to happen. I mean, the smaller kid had every right to defend himself. It's a 2-on-1. He's outsized. He knows what getting his ass kicked feels like. Should he have pulled a knife? I don't know. I'm not going to say I haven't pulled a weapon in a fight before. I just don't. I don't know. It's crazy. And what these cops have to deal with, they have to be social workers. They have to be psychiatrists. They have to be judges.
Right.
They have to be. I mean, the hats that they have to wear is impossible.
And they don't know who's, you know, has autism or whatever.
Right.
I mean, because, you know, Roger's not going to react like a typical person would.
Yeah.
You know, because in his mind, he's not thinking. You know, his thinking isn't logical part of the time. You know, he thinks, you know, kind of in cartoon.
Right.
You know.
Well, he can't be expected to, but once again, the officer doesn't know that. You see somebody that looks like an AR, the cop's got to defend himself. The kid's got a knife. You don't know of his intent. I mean, my point is de-escalation. That age, bringing knives and guns to malls, etc., is wrong. Sure, it's wrong, but growing up, I grew up in the hood, so I'm sorry, it's a part of life. And that kid's a small kid, and you saw nobody tried to help him. I have a different mentality than most white people when it comes to the hood. I have a very serious respect for the hierarchy inside the ghetto. and I
yeah.
and I had to learn it and understand it as a white boy in that area. And I have a very profound respect for that hierarchy. And if you respect it, it will respect you. And that's all I can say. But if you go into a neighborhood and you start shit, and that neighborhood will clean you out so freaking quick. And you got to have street smarts. And I'm telling you, a little kid like that, 11 years old, he may be the bully. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what he said. He might have said something about their mom. The point is, should you bring a knife to the mall? No.
No.
But do these kids have to? Some do.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry about your son. How old was he during this?
I think he was about 18.
Okay. Hey, real quick.
But, you know,
Vicky,
he's not thinking.
Vicky, hold on a second. Folks, I've put the link in Facebook like 10 times. I don't know what else to do. It's not showing up.
I just put it in again.
Yeah, this is what I'm trying to tell you. I don't. The chats are very confusing and difficult because they're very slow. They don't show up right away. I can't see what you guys see, even if you're replying to somebody. And sometimes the show is 15, 20 seconds delayed. So whatever I say, you react to, almost 30 seconds has passed. By the time you type it, you're 30 seconds into what I've already said. So some people might be reacting to something where I didn't see you wave me off. That's why Tina's hopefully not too pissed, but was pissed at me because I kept going and she's like trying to tell me to shut up and, hey, knock it off. I'm not talking to you. And I didn't see it. And once I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, fine. I still don't understand the comment, but whatever. So you guys got to understand this is not as simple as it looks. We've got a lot of things going on in these windows. Okay. And we have a lot of conversation. We're trying to run a show. We've got video, we've got text. We've got 4 TVs that are 75 inches here. Okay. That's a lot.
I'm impressed what you guys do.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
I would be able to keep up.
It's a lot of work, Vicky. And it's hard because I'm also trying to talk and think and say the right things to keep you engaged. But there are mistakes that have been made and especially confusing conversations that people are having that I think are about me. It's a symptom of the show and it's not the first time. So you've got to not Tina. If I know Tina, she's probably watching and just said, fuck it, I'm not going to comment anymore. Or she just turned it off, which is fine. Hopefully she'll be back tomorrow. Nick.
I'm sure she will.
We're talking to Vicky right now, Nick. Anyway, Vicky, go ahead and take your 1 minute and then we're gonna go.
I don't even know what to say.
Oh.
I hope you guys have a great 4th of July.
Yeah, how are you doing? Everything good with you?
Yeah, I'm selling my house. I got asking price for it, so I'm so excited.
Wow.
And Roger and I have a place in Punta Gorda.
Oh, that's going to be
We're
fun. Is that the last move? You guys going to stay there forever, you think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'll be my forever home.
Oh, that's great. Good for you. Good.
Yeah.
And how's your daughter?
And it's a beautiful.
How's your daughter doing?
Oh, she's doing great. She, enlisted again. So she's been in since 2017, and she's engaged to that German, GSG9 officer.
Wow.
So, and she just got her bachelor's, and she got a 4.0, and now she's working on her master's.
Good for her.
So pretty impressive for, working full time.
Yeah, is she getting along with command a little bit better now and stuff?
Yeah, she really doesn't. They really want her to, move up in command or whatever.
OCS?
Yeah, she doesn't want to. She can't really say it, but she doesn't want to because she wants to finish her master's while she's there.
Might as well get her commission while she's in. Why not? I mean, seriously.
No, she said it's more responsibility,
sure
and then
is.
she will have a harder time getting her homework done.
Yeah, no, being an officer, it's a lot. But the great thing is that, I mean, that's a hell of a good thing on her resume. Well, Vicky, we love you. We're glad that you're back on the show. Why were you gone for so long? Can I ask? Will you tell me?
I was, of course. I was super sick for like 4 months. Didn't know what was wrong with me. They did all kinds of blood work and urinalysis and CAT scans, and like all my blood work came back really wonky, and they didn't know what was going on. So they, scanned my whole body. They were, test after test and ultrasounds, and I just felt like crap. I felt weak. But I think what what had happened. You know, I had that procedure in Turkey that I had done.
I remember that.
And then so I was healing from that. Then I got a really bad cough, like where I had to have inhalers and everything. I had crappy lung sounds, and that's never happened
Did you
to
go
me
on
before.
steroids?
Yep, they did. They gave me steroids.
What did they give
and
you?
then they gave me the
Prednisone?
pack. Yeah, the prednisone, the pack that they give you, where
Okay.
you know, and then you titrate down. And then I went on semaglutide like when I came back from Turkey, and I lost like almost 40 pounds. And I think that's what caused all my illnesses. And then I was on blood pressure medication, but I lost weight and I didn't need to be on it. My blood pressure was low, so I was sick because of that. And I ended up going off from all the medications I was on. The hardest one to get off from was the Celexa, or not Celexa, Cymbalta.
Ugh.
Horrible drug.
God, yeah.
Horrible.
Which one? What does that do?
That took me.
Go-
It's an antidepressant, anxiety, but it also helps with pain. You know, because I had my back injury last year, and you know, my pain was giving me a hard time. So
Isn't it a
you know, she
benzo?
thought
I
that
think
would be a good.
it's part of the benzo family, right?
It's horrible, and it's horrible. Well, no, it's not, but it's super hard to wean off from.
What's the name of it?
Horrible. It's Cymbalta. And it took me 3 months to get off from that with horrible side effects.
Did you go through withdrawals?
Oh my gosh, yes. It was horrible.
So you
It
had
really
you
was
had the
horrible.
leg cramps and then the restless leg syndrome.
The dizziness, dizziness. I couldn't sleep. And then, you know, they want to put you on more meds. And I'm like, I'm not taking any meds. I'm not taking anything. So I am totally med free right now. So even with my back pain and everything, they put me on meloxicam and Flexerol and all that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm like, nope, I'm not
Flexerol's
taking
horrible.
it.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
I just want to be off from everything.
So this is a neuroinhibitor. It's duloxetine, basically. It's for neuropathic pain from diabetes, fibromyalgia, chronic musculoskeletal pain, and generalized anxiety disorder and depressive disorder.
Yeah. So
It's an SNRI, which is interesting. So
it's horrible. I would not have. I mean, if I gave anybody advice, I'm like, don't take any of those kind of medications if you can help it at all.
yeah, that shit's horrible. Like all medication
I
is
mean,
just
when you go to the doctor, they just want to put you on a med. You tell them how you're feeling. Oh, well, I'll prescribe this for you and this for you and this for you. They don't even, like get to the bottom of what's going on. I figured out that all my stuff probably was because of the semaglutide I was taking. And then getting off from the Cymbalta.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know. I was sick.
Well, I'm glad
And
you're off of it. You went through the withdrawal symptoms and now you know not like touch it with a 10-foot pole. Every time they try to give me anything, I'm like, is it aspirin or Advil? No, then I don't want it. So
I don't want it. No.
Yeah, like a Z-Pack is about as heavy drug involvement that I get. I might do some antibiotics, but
I would take that. But
yeah. All right. Well, listen.
And the prednisone really helps.
Yeah, prednisone, but that shit sucks too. I mean, the fever dreams.
But yeah,
you get,
it does suck. But you just take it as prescribed. You know, the people that take it for longer, they have all that pain afterwards, and trying to withdraw off from it. It's not meant to take for a long term. It's only meant for that.
No. Like you can't even take. I mean, from a statistical point of view and a chemical compound point of view, if you take Vicodin or Narco or Lortab, 7 days, your body is habitual. And people don't know that. And they go through withdrawal symptoms. Usually they think it's the flu. They'll like stop taking Vicodin or whatever, and then they'll get the case of the runs, or they'll get bad, maybe a little vomiting or sweating, and they go, oh, I've got a touch of the bug. No, you're going through withdrawals.
You withdraw.
At 7 days, you're going through withdrawals. And I remember the first time, like I was taking Vicodin for like 6 months or whatever, And I thought I had Giardia because I had Giardia before in an undisclosed location. And when I got off the stuff, I thought it was because I was quitting smoking and I had Giardia because we were in a pool that, you know, wasn't very clean. It was at an apartment complex.
This was after you.
Yeah.
It was
I
our
remember.
5th wedding anniversary, and you took your last pill, and you said, "I'm done." And I remember like the next day, you were like, you were green, and
Yeah, I had
you-
no
and
idea.
I was like, "You're withdrawing," and he's like, "No, I'm
No, you did not.
super
No,
sick."
you did not say that at all.
I
So
thought
that's
you were
not what happened. No, that's not true. That's a complete fallacy. It's a lie. She never said withdrawal. The word withdrawal never came through because I was quitting smoking at the same time, and I had this like bug up my ass to have a clean life. So I stopped smoking and I cut out all the Vicodin, and I went to the doctor, and I'm like, dude, I've got a pathogen or something. And this guy, he ran a blood test, and he came back, and I said, is this because they're not smoking? He looks me dead in the eye, and he's like, yeah, it's the no smoking. And when we left, I'm like, why the fuck did he say it like that? Well, later we found out this is during the opioid. Things were kicking up, and they started sending in legislation to stop people from taking, you know, this type of stuff. And New Mexico was horrible. And that guy knew after the blood test that I had opioids in my system, and I was coming from withdrawal, and he probably thought I was trying to fish for more opioids. That's what happened.
Oh, that's a different time. I was thinking Colorado.
That's the first time. That's the first and only time that I went through withdrawals that I really understood. Colorado was different. Like, it was a different medication, and it was after my back surgery. Yeah. This was Lortab, and I'm like, Lortab? That's not Vicodin. That's not narco. I'll be fine. I don't know what's going on. But it was only, and I was assuming that it was only a couple months I was on this stuff, and I'm like, there's no way this has to do with the non-smoking. Sorry. So Colorado was a completely different situation. You did tell me it withdrawals in Colorado, and that was one of the worst. That was nothing compared to Bakersfield.
I was thinking it was Colorado. I never said it in Albuquerque, but no, it was Colorado.
I know. I just said that.
You'd been on it for 9 months because it was.
Oh, it was longer than 9 months.
Yeah, you were on it before.
It was longer than 9 months.
It was like a year then because your surgery.
It was like 2 years.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You just did it cold turkey?
Yes.
Is that what?
No, the first. Okay, so the first time, you got to understand, Colorado, I don't think I was taking more than 50 milligrams a day. That's nothing. So the first time in Colorado, I was only taking like 4 or 5 pills a day. So when I came off of it, it sucked. I couldn't sleep. I had insomnia. I had a little bit of fever dreams and shakes and a little bit of stomach problems, but it was just an uncomfortable come off. You know, it just sucked. It was minor withdrawals.
Yeah, and he did go cold turkey. He flushed everything down the
No, I
toilet.
did not.
I thought you did the first time.
It's just like this isn't true. In Colorado, I ran out of medication, and I wanted to come clean because I was no longer in pain. We started playing Guitar Hero, and I went out and played football with some kids in after my back surgery. It was like almost a year, and I was able to move around and run. And I had no pain, so I slowly backed off of the medication, and I went down from 4 a day to 3 a day to 2 a day, and I was done in 3 or 4 days. So it wasn't a cold turkey in Colorado, but I still had withdrawals. Now, Bakersfield was, but I tried to step down, but I was taking 500 milligrams a day of slow release. And I mean, I was taking 12, 14 pills a day. I was consuming so much that if a normal human being would take it, they would die. So I stepped down, but then at some point I had to jump off. And even if the receptors are getting a little bit of codeine, even if it isn't the right amount, it's enough for the body to kind of reset the clock. So all you're doing is prolonging the inevitable. So I jumped off cold turkey.
That's what I thought.
Yep. And I had literally, it was 30 days of withdrawals.
Yeah.
30 days, Liv?
That's horrible.
It was more like 6 to 7 weeks.
Yeah.
Because it was right before Hayden's birthday.
Thank you, Christian.
Yeah, it was like right after Hayden's birthday that you were like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Because you had been working up for it for a few months because we got the treadmill and we got some weights and you're like, I got to start working out and getting my core strong before I do this. So you were ready to do this.
Yep.
But then,
well, we tried to apply for rehab.
Yep, and
it
didn't work.
the VA turned me down and California want to charge me $35,000 for it. And
yeah, and he was on a long-term disability from work anyway for a year, and he's like, before I have to go back to work, I'm gonna be off this. So he started getting in shape and started trying to do that, and he did that for about 4 months. And then after Hayden's birthday, he's like, okay, we started weaning him off.
Oh,
and
it's horrible.
And the only time he came out of the room was for Ethan's birthday party, and he sucked it up, and he was a trooper that day. But he was sitting on the couch trying to socialize, and I could just tell he was miserable the whole time.
I lost 35
but he
pounds.
Did it.
I lost 35 pounds in two weeks. I was severely dehydrated. I was putting down about 4 or 5 gallons of electrolytes and water a day. I had to. Olivia would go and boil a pan of water until it was vigorously pouring and poured into the bathtub, 4 of those. And I would get in with it boiling hot because my legs wouldn't stop shaking. And I was chipping my teeth from shaking so bad.
Yeah,
and my legs were the restless leg syndrome was so bad. I was up for 7 days. I watched the first series of Sopranos. I finished that in 3 days. I finished Justified. I finished West Wing all
You
7
start watching House of Cards too, and West
House
Wing.
of Cards, West. I mean, I finished like five TV series in like 10 days because
I slept
didn't
in the
sleep.
guest bedroom
Yep.
for at least a month straight because I was like, you just need the room, and I'm not going to get any sleep. So I was like, but I mean, it was worth
bad.
it. It was a rough 6 weeks, but it was worth it.
Well, it changed my life, and then I went from 265 to 213. Then I went to 213 to back to 240, all within 30 days.
That was right before you started the show?
Oh no!
This was in 20.
That was right before.
No, this was back in 2016.
Yeah, so
it was in 2016 that he did the spring in 2016.
So then it was a series of dropping body fat, putting on muscle, getting the right lifestyle in order. But a lot of people are like, so you were a drug addict? Well, yeah, I was, and I still am, and I always will be. But it didn't start out that way. The VA put me on it because they didn't want to pay for a $750,000 surgery. So it started with dental work. They did $30,000 worth of damage to my teeth in Japan, or in Virginia when I out processed to ship to Japan. And they said, well, when you get to your duty station, it'll fix it. Well, they didn't. So I had to go with these temporary crowns and temporary fillings that all fell out of my head. And when I out processed, I didn't have any VA near me. So I was shit out of luck.
We're still working on fixing all your teeth. Right
Yeah.
now,
So
too.
I essentially started with the military, and they gave me the largest pills I've ever had in my life. And they numbed me. So I was habitual because I needed it to walk, and I could not move with the damage that I had done to my body in the military. So
that happens to so many.
It was horrible. So I essentially just continued, and I went to a pain management specialist, and they were giving me 500 counts of 25 over 500 tabs, and then I became addicted, and I would count my medicine that I had to have one every hour, and you're only supposed to take one every 4 to 6 or 6 to 8, but I needed it would wear off in an hour. So I would stay in bed as long. I realized once I got my heart rate up and moved, the withdrawal would start, and I would crave a pill. So as long as I stayed in bed and didn't move, I could squeak a couple hours. So I'd always wake up at like 7-8 hours, and then I would have to sit in bed for at least 2 to 3, and then I would finally go into work. I wrote the schedule, and I abused that so much at Apple because I was an addict. So the doctor said it best. He's like, you're not a drug addict. You're a habitual person who ultimately turned into an addict. You needed it to move, and then you needed it to feel good. So
yeah,
I just stopped, and I haven't touched one since. I have not had any narcotic in my body since, and I maybe have a glass or 2 of whiskey or a beer a year, and I just stay away from the shit. And it doesn't bother me. I don't think twice about it. I think about cigarettes often, but I don't think about whiskey or Vicodin at all and stuff.
Yeah, now that I feel good and I feel normal, I never want, I don't even like to drink alcohol because I just want to feel normal.
Yeah.
After all that.
Yeah.
I just want to feel like me.
I'm proud of you. I'm sorry I made it about me tonight. I didn't want to do that.
No, that's
but
okay.
It's a long
No.
story. A lot of people have heard it, but it was
Yeah.
it was a road to recovery. And there's pictures where you would just, I don't look anything like I look now. I mean,
And it's so hard to describe how you feel. I mean, just withdrawing from the Cymbalta. I mean, people would ask, how are you feeling? And I'm like, just like crap. I mean, I can't even explain. I just feel yuck all the time. And it was just like, so, and now I feel good and I'm so excited. I'm so excited about life. I'm so excited about moving. We're going to be moving to an active community.
Nice.
That's just like all kinds of stuff going on. And when you see where we're moving to, you guys will want to come down.
we're going to come down. We want to go to Disneyland.
Disney World.
Yeah.
Whatever. Fucking, who cares?
And then right down the road from where I'm going to be living it's called Tucker's Cove. It's in Babcock Ranch in Punta Gorda, and it's they have a lazy river. Like water slides.
Hell yes.
They have an Olympic-sized pool. They have the what's it called? There's a restaurant right in the middle. It looks like a big ship. And then they have, you can get a margarita and go down the lazy river. And yeah, it's just super cool. Resort style pool with a beautiful sand from Fort Myers. That's really soft white sand.
That's
from
great.
Fort Myers.
That's great.
And so it's just beautiful.
Can
It's like you're in a resort every single day.
Well, that's good. And you guys are at a good age. You're not retiring yet in that essence. You're not going to an old folks home. You guys are going to the dream home, and you're going to be in a community that's
It's
awesome.
just me and Roger,
I
my
know.
son Roger.
I know. Well, your kids can visit.
But he can take the golf cart in the whole
Nice.
community. Like he can, go to the grocery store. He can,
Good.
Get a job, and it's just a huge community that's self-sustained.
Can you see the
It has-
screen right now, Vicky?
Nope, I'm off because I didn't know I could do it.
Can you try to see your screen real quick?
Yeah.
All right, let me know when you got a picture. Always amazes me when we get into these things with people that people stay on and they're more engaged. It's incredible. It blows me away.
I see you.
All right, so there is at the height of that's 255. I had another 10 pounds to go. This is right before we moved to a little bit after moved to Bakersfield, and you can see that is me.
Oh.
No, not awe. I was a fat.
I think she's awing Hayden.
No, awe Hayden and Olivia, just not me.
No, I still had baby weight. It took me 19
look
months to get the baby weight off.
So that's
It doesn't even look like you. You look like a baby face.
yeah, that's then, and then this was how many years later? After all the work.
Was this in Texas?
Yeah, this
or-
was Texas. This is what, 4 years? 5.
So in Texas.
Be quick, Liz. Just pick a year.
That could have been 7 from that picture.
Okay, well that's after. Yeah, and that's pretty much now. So that's the recovery. So I went from 52% body fat, 108 pounds of muscle, 108 pounds of muscle on my body. And I went to 13% body fat. I moved up to like 186 mass. I dropped to 220, and that's where I'm at now. I'm about 225. And that's still essentially my build, but it took years, like absolute, right? I mean, my eating habits were unbelievably strict. Calorie count, I wasn't even counting. I just would not have any shit, and I would go onto like Apple events and Comcast events, and people would just hate going to dinner with me because I'd be like, listen, I just a piece of chicken with some rice and some broccoli, and people are like, would you just cheat? And I said, no, I won't. And I said, okay, I'll cheat. Can I have an iced tea with 1/4 sweetened, please? So I just took a long time to get myself back, but that's the way I was in the military, and I just let myself go to shit from the pain. But nice sharing,
So
Vicky.
do you still eat healthy? You still eat healthy then?
Yeah, I eat pretty good. I mean, I'm in good shape.
Yeah.
When I stand
Yeah.
up and people see me in photographs, I look a lot better with these cameras because I have depth and I have the right lighting. Because I look nothing like I have for the last 2 or 3. That's what people have said more than anything with the new show is Matt, you don't look like you did when you were in the old show. Is that you can see depth and you can see size and muscle. You couldn't do that in the other office because the lighting was shit and it was just one-dimensional lighting. But you know, when I stand up or something and people go, oh, Matt looks big when he's sitting down, but when he stands up, he's pretty lean. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm not in the best shape of my life, but I'm in decent. Liv, do you ask for refunds?
No.
Okay. So there it is. So yeah, no,
But yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
eat healthy now, and I just feel. I mean, I don't know what it is, like no medications, or I or the way I'm eating, but like I have no pain except for my occasional back pain, but I feel good every single day. Like I do my yoga. I haven't felt better in years
Good for
than
you.
I do right now.
Good for
Yeah,
you.
so I'm
How-
it's a weird way I got there, but I
Well,
don't know.
I'm glad you are. I'm gonna get Olivia out of here so she can get some rest. But we love you. We appreciate
right,
you
you too.
watching. Again, it's nice to see you string some shows together, and we appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, well, nice talking to you guys. Have a happy 4th.
You too,
too.
Vicky.
Thanks, Vicky.
We'll talk to you soon, my friend. God bless.
Okay, God bless you guys
All right.
too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
We love Vicky. Love
Thanks for
Tina.
that.
I'm gonna have to send Tina a message because I don't want her to be mad at me. Paul Rivera, 2110. Good breakdown, Matt. Well, I thought that's what we were doing, but it got a little weird. But that's okay. It does. Communication is a bitch sometimes. All right, folks. We covered a lot. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Are we good on donations, Mom? We missed it by $2. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
$2. Lord. Nick says, can he call in? Yeah, Nick, you can have 5 minutes, Nick. Give me a call. 5 minutes though. Let me just I don't think there's anything else. Because we gotta make these $2. We can't do this. I mean, I'm ready to donate to ourselves. Seriously, that's pathetic.
Maybe one of our kids can do it. They got money.
Yeah. All right, Nick, what's going on, man? You got 5 minutes. Go for it, buddy.
Oh, okay. I just want to say I apologize for interrupting the lady's story earlier when I was calling in.
Oh, that's okay, man. You're good.
But I wanted to ask you, and just so you know, I understand with the medical issues you've gone through, because a few years ago they tried to get me diagnosed with ADHD, and one of the medicines they wanted to put me on is now listed as an antipsychotic. So
What did they try to put you on? Zoloft or?
Oh, say that again.
Was it Zoloft? Was it lithium?
Yeah, yeah.
Zoloft.
It was Zoloft.
Horrible stuff. Horrible.
And
horrible shit.
My mother thankfully outright refused to do that.
Good for
because
her.
She had seen the warnings on it.
Good for her.
But
it's a good
I
mother.
just wanted to. Yes, she is. I just wanted to ask you, because you mentioned this, what are your thoughts on giving the police military training?
That's a thought.
Well, essentially, okay. So I don't think it's okay. This is a very complex question. First of all, the missions of the police and the military are two very, very different things. The military's ultimate job is to train for a job and a position to complete the mission. And the mission for all military is to kill the enemy. And the police are trained in specifics to support their goal to protect and to serve. They're two very, very different missions. So military training, although I believe CQB and operational security and tactical combat, situational awareness, those type of things are absolutely critical. The police officers do get that. What I believe that the police officers, and I'm not a cop, I did shore patrol and I've run operational security and I've done protection, but that doesn't make me a cop. I've done a million ride-alongs. I've got detectives in the family and street cops in the family, and I've got a lot of good friends who are cops. So I feel like I understand the role, but I don't know what it's like to be a police officer, minus what I did on shore patrol and whatever operational security that we did. But what I will say is I think a good amount of officers touch their service revolver or touch their service weapon once a year. And I believe that if you're truly going to be effective in your role, and if you're partner is an extension of you. Your canine's an extension of you. Your radio is an extension of you. Your vehicle is an extension of you. Your firearm should also be an extension of you, and you should practice all of those things with diligence. And I do believe that officers do not receive the level of training or the ability to train as much as they should. That's what I will say. And I think every officer should revisit and work with de-escalation techniques. I think every single officer should be in a hand-to-hand program. I think they should be in a physical program, whether it's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or whether it's Krav Maga, or even something like, judo. Whatever it be, they need to be in some sort of hand-to-hand experience. They need to be in extremely physically good shape, and they need to have a certain level of strength and aptitude. And I think those requirements should be closer to military level, and they're not. So there are aspects of the military that I think the police force should implement, but most of those guys are ex-military. Most of those guys had fathers who are cops. Most of those guys had military parents. Most of those guys have an extreme and girls have an extreme loyalty to the badge and to the law, and that's implemented usually from emulating the things surrounding them and they see. And a lot of those officers are ex-military, and there is a level of military presence within the police force. But those are the things I think they should focus on more than anything. But that's my answer. It's a long answer, but that's my answer.
Well, thank you. I understand all your points, and if you don't mind me asking another question,
sure.
And this is just another what you think. One of the arguments I've seen is that in the U.S., and they do this in other countries, they require in other countries the police to have a college level degree or something equivalent to that. Do you think that's something we should do in the U.S. or?
No, I don't. I because it's not a requirement for the U.S. military. And if we're going to make considerations that the military are elite units who have extremely difficult and heavy responsibilities from an educational standpoint and a physical standpoint, which they do, and we're saying should the police emulate the military, then mandating a college degree is going to eliminate a wide candidate pool who would be excellent at the job. And let's face it, cops who are the most successful are the ones who understand the street as well as the people who they are trying to catch. And bringing people from the inner city who don't have a college degree but possibly could have had a GPA of 4.0 or could have been on, high school track, or maybe ran around with some gangs but are extremely intelligent, because the street smarts and the book smarts are two different things. And although certain jobs in the police force, I believe, translate with the military, that book smarts are important, I think the street smart element is probably the most useful tool for a police officer who's on the beat or on patrol. That's my guess. I'm not one of them, but if Tina was watching, I think she would probably agree. So no, I don't think it should be a prerequisite, but I do believe a high school diploma is important. I do believe that there has to be a level of education that aligns with the role that they're doing, and there needs to be strong communicative skills. Public speaking needs to be a huge thing. Command presence needs to be huge. Team build and inspire. Managerial courage. These are the 5 things I think a cop needs more than anything else in the world, because they have to not only acclimate to the criminal element, they have to acclimate to the civilian element. And there's a very large power that they yield and can be abused for people who do not stress that discipline from both mediums and use it effectively. Liv, what do you think?
I have no idea.
Okay, Liv has.
I'm sorry.
Liv's out.
Yep.
Nick,
Love you guys, but I'm out.
Livia's out. Get out of here.
It's 10 o'clock at night. I'm zoning. Sorry.
All right. So Nick, let's wrap up. But you go ahead with your thoughts, and then you take the final minute like last time, and then we can talk again some other time.
Oh no, I just I agree with a lot of what you say. I've had people attempt to brag to me or say, well, if you guys made all your cops all college educated, you'd have a much more efficient police force. And I don't know about what the police are like in other countries, but I've seen a lot of people in colleges who, excuse the language, but can't tell their elbow from their butt.
Yeah,
no offense to anyone.
It's true. It's true. It's true. Can you imagine a military with all officers? That's the answer to your question. That's the answer to your question.
That
nothing would ever
be
get
horrendous.
done. Nothing would ever get done, and people would just be a bunch of cake eating fuckers. Same thing would happen. You need the grunts to do the work, and you need the grunts in the police department because they carry the load. Nick, I got to let you go. It's a good time talking to you. We'll talk again next time, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thanks,
All right,
Nick.
brother. Talk to you soon, man. Bye. All right, Liv, let's close it out. I know we've got some donations to put through. I want to thank everybody for helping and donating and all of that. Charity Lamb donated $256. Thank you.
I don't like to put them in when there's.
Looks like we're losing the vote on the bill by 1 vote. 4 Republicans voted no. You can blame, who you can blame. Thomas Massey, Chip Roy. Who else?
You've got to be shitting me.
Fucking people. They're just ridiculous. I can't stand these people. Melanie Marino donated $10.80. Thank you, Melanie. I got to reach out to Tina. I got to make sure she's not pissed at me. I love that woman, and she's so helpful on this show. Sorry. I don't like the term armchair quarterback. That bothers me. Sorry. CJ Jenkins donated $5. Can't go out below goal. Well, looks like we're going to hit it now. Are we good?
Nope. Couple more.
Couple more. Well, everybody chip. Thank you, everybody, for chipping in.
They all came in. I don't like to put in donations during phone calls.
No, I respect that because we have to interrupt, and that's fine. No, I appreciate it. It's a good call. It's a good call not to do it during the call. Oh, you're punchy. You're punchy. You're punchy. I don't like Mass either. I told you he was a stooge. Paul Rivera donated $5.65. Can't go out below goal. Thank you, Paul. Look at everybody kicking it in. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for getting us there.
I didn't get my pee break earlier,
I didn't either.
so I gotta go.
Some people act like he walks on water. Riley, go watch my video today on Thomas Massey. It's pretty interesting. Liv's got to pee. She's going to blow.
Oh, yep. I got to pee.
She's going to blow. JD Stillwell donated $264. Didn't feel right not hitting
that's
goal. Is that it?
That's it. Thank
All right.
you.
Everybody, thanks for watching
Appreciate
the Donut
it.
Friendly Show. We'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow it is Leroy and myself. Next week we have Ryan Weaver. And then we have Mr. Good.
Mr. Good, that Tuesday, the 15th.
And he works for the Bondsman, and he's a lawyer in Texas and really big on immigration and border security. He's going to be on. I want to say thank you so much for everybody. We appreciate you. We love you. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching the Donut Friendly Show. Good night.
y'all.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.